bench. This one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time wonder what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop the quibbling.
What do
This
we have?
weekend has the potential to be very, very good. Also has the potential to be very, very bad.
We got guys sitting. Where you at, Marcos?
Well, the chair looks kind of nice now I think about it. This chair feels good.
All right, let's break it down for everyone right now. Tobin is on vacation. I am Dan Dave filling in for him. Leroy is not on vacation. Leroy is Leroy. Marcos is here, but has some issues in his personal life, so he can't be here the whole time.
Yeah.
So my cousin Vladimir Louison is here also. J Fig
could have came at noon.
J Fig is also
Hey,
so we're playing musical chairs.
we already got Corbin and Vlad. You should have filled out the ticket, my man.
Dude, they could have told me. I thought you weren't going to be here.
Okay, lots going on in the sports world. Let's
Hold
talk
it,
about our
Vlad.
personal lives. We have a huge weekend here in South Florida that
Huge.
potentially could be unbelievably great, also could be unbelievably bad. Let's focus on the good right now. Miami Hurricanes. Did you know this, Leroy? Looking for their first home ACC win under Mario Cristobal. They lost all four last year, and of course, they lost to Georgia Tech earlier this year. Clemson, this is a chance to put that Clemson dynasty to bed if they can win tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.
Can they win? Yes.
Of course.
But here's what I'm concerned with, right? That it's easy to be poised when you're up by 20. It's easy to show, discipline when you're up 30. Last week, what I saw when things got a little tough is a whole bunch of guys, swag penalties, bad decisions,
Coaching.
not poised, not disciplined. So
Coaching.
what I want to see and what I'm concerned with is, were you being front runners or were you really transitioning to being a more poised and disciplined team, right? Because that's one of the things I praised the coaching staff and Mario Cristobal about earlier in the year, is that they were playing mistake-free football. There weren't a whole lot of swag penalties, a whole lot of 15-yarders, a whole lot of freebies. And then last week, it just all went away. Is it a lapse or are we back to that? And that'll be an interesting question because you know what? It's easy to play football when you're better than the other team.
And you're up.
Right. But here's the deal. At some point during the course of the year, and this is everybody, right? Every team, it's going to be legitimate competition. And your poise and your determination and your attention to details and your mistake-free football is what's going to win because the other team is just as talented as you are. I want to see them win a game like that. And that's what this game is this week.
And the stage gets no bigger than Sunday night. Dolphins, Eagles. Leroy, what do you want to see from the Dolphins 8:20 Sunday night?
I just want to see this basically the same thing. But I will say it a little differently for this reason. Before the season started, we didn't know all these teams that the Dolphins played to this point were going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they are bad, we're sitting here saying the Dolphins haven't played a schedule. That's not their problem.
That's not their problem.
But the one team that you got to get over the hump with, you got destroyed by, right? And so here's another team who, is it safe to say they are better than the Buffalo Bills?
I would say yes.
Right. And so now you're getting in that, okay, 5-1 elite teams in the league. How you going to compete, right? How are you going to do what you've been doing against a team that's not going to make it as easier? I think this game is going to look similar to what Buffalo did and what New England did, is that they're not going to blitz a lot. They're going to drop 7 and 8 guys and try to put pressure on you with those hogs they got up front. They got some good pass rushers.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can do that and you don't make them pay, it's going to be a long day because it's going to be real tight in the secondary because I think they're going to drop a lot of guys in the coverage.
Is this the game where the Dolphins kind of have to prove to themselves that they can beat really elite teams also? Have you ever been on one of those teams where, you beat up on all the guys that aren't that good, but you can't really beat the good teams? Is this one of those ones where the Dolphins, they kind of want to prove to themselves because they're still kind of trying to figure it out?
I think so at some point, right? And this is more of a coaching point than anything, right? Where the coach can come in there and say, see, men, we can compete with anybody. Let's just put this work in and let's continue on this road because we have proof. We have a game in hand where we went and played against the NFC representative in the Super Bowl and we competed and won. And that, as far as the path that you're taking, right, and what you're trying to do, says a lot, not only for the organization, but for the players, for the coach, to say, hey, we're on the right track. We got something special here. So it'll do more. And here's the thing that sucks about this game, right? This game really doesn't have any bearing on what the Dolphins do as far as the AFC, right? But what it does do is it does put you in a position to know that we're on the right track.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's go around the room. Of course, Leroy, Marcos, and of course, if you're watching on Twitch, it also says Marcos, but it's Vlad. Let's play the narratives. Dolphins win on the biggest stage. I say the narrative is Dolphins have arrived. The Dolphins are probably the best team in the NFL. Everyone is singing their praises. Am I correct on that, Leroy?
Yep, it depends on, and
How
here's the thing. They have an elite offense, right? The best in the league at this point. No arguing, none of that. They have probably a top 3 to 5 quarterback. They got the best receiver. They got the best run game. The questions are on the other side of the ball, right? Defensively, they've picked it up, but defensively, how are you going to perform against an elite offense, right? That can run the ball, that can throw the ball, that has big-time receivers. How are you going to respond defensively? Because the questions up until this point have not been about the offense. It's always been about the defense. And now you have your biggest test.
So, Marcos, the narrative, if the Dolphins win, is?
I think you're right, man. I don't think it's much different from what we're seeing now. Obviously, they have a great offense, and everyone's praising them for that. But I think they win this game. They're the clear-cut favorite. Not only that, you're getting Jalen Ramsey back. You're getting a little bit healthier.
Devon Achane, Teron Armstead.
Jeff Wilson, wasn't he supposed to
Nick Needham. You got a bunch of guys coming back that if you can keep winning, then you got some time to get that defense exactly how you want it. However, that ain't an excuse, right? Don't tell me after this game if Philly run up and down the field that we waiting to get our guys back. That dog ain't gonna hunt.
I don't play the injury thing like that.
Right.
Vlad, real quick, narrative, if the Dolphins win solidly, best team in the NFL?
Yeah, it'll be official. I'm starting to see a lot of the teams that they've beaten their records like 5-24, 5-25. So that narrative is gonna it's gonna stop. And you're talking about the NFC conference champions.
Right. Exactly. But, you know what? Sometimes the notch that you put on your belt says a lot more than your actual talent, right? It's like, oh, look, we don't know about their defense. We know their offense is good, but we know Philly's good.
Right. But the narrative
they've proven they're good.
Narrative is this: you lose this game. To me, the narrative is they got a whole lot of offense. They can beat up on the little kids, but when the big boys come to town, they ain't got it.
And which is lost as well.
Which is unfair.
I don't even think it matters how you lose.
Yeah,
if you lose by double digits, then your 2 losses are to 2 quality teams of double digits.
Right.
They're gonna start looking at you like
then
you
we're pretenders.
You could beat the Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants of the world, but when it comes to the big boys, you get handled.
You know what I would do? and this is no lie, I ain't deferring. I'm taking the ball. And we're going to have a track meet from the get-go.
You throwing punches from the get-go.
Why not? You here.
I like
here's what you want in sports.
Brave.
Right? At every moment of any sport, you want to try to get the game to the strengths of your team. Right? Right? So in basketball, if you got the best defensive team in the league, you get a 10-point lead, it's over. Because now you got to come see us. Right? If the Dolphins get up 2 touchdowns and you ain't stopped their offense yet, good luck. Right? But here's the deal. I want to get out and get in front as quick as possible because I don't want at no point in time for the Philadelphia Eagles to get comfortable playing football. And they got an offense that struggled last week. You know how you make them struggle some more? Make them feel like they have to score to keep up with you.
You have to press.
You go down the field and put some points on the board, and they start thinking, oh, it's going to be a shootout. Now you give your defense a chance. But I don't want to sit back and watch what that offensive line and defensive line do to our D-line or offensive line and sit back and counterpunch. You got to take it to them. I hate their defer.
Tight.
Wait, I hate teams that defer. You know, why would you ever defer to the Dolphins? You basically just saying we'll take the 7-0.
You give them an extra possession too if they're that good on offense. Yeah, you're right.
Well, and then how often does it really play out where, listen, if you're a bad team, the last thing you need is more offensive opportunities, right? So you saying, oh, they get the ball coming out in the second half. Okay, what if your quarterback is Mac Jones? Do you want it?
I think they should go with a trick play on the kickoff.
Set the tone.
That's what I'm thinking. Return the kickoff into a reverse.
They can't because now everybody kicking it 7 yards deep.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the best way to do it.
That ruined everything.
These headlines are brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Panthers won their home opener last night, 3-1 against the Maple Leafs. Next up, the Canucks tomorrow at 7. Panthers looked aggressive and looked good last night.
I'm still petty about this.
What?
Dan? There should be a rule in all sports.
Oh yeah, let's go.
If you make it to the finals,
yeah,
and you represent your conference, you should start your season at home. You got to, because those are of all the sports, the only teams that are putting up banners, whatever banner that may be, is the conference champion and the champion, right? And you should have that opportunity to do it on opening night.
I agree with you on that one, but I will say this: kudos to the Panthers fans showing up loud and proud.
Yeah.
And the second the game started, the chant started, "We want Florida, we want Florida," loud and proud. I was like, "Wait, who's chanting that?" And then I realized, remember when the Maple Leafs did that last year, or their fans did that last year?
Yeah.
And then they got whooped. It was perfect.
Gentlemen sweep.
Yeah, so Panthers started off a little sluggish, started the season off a little sluggish, but
it's okay.
And it wasn't, I tell you what, it wasn't because of Bob. Bob been playing his ass off. Oh my goodness. I mean, man, Tobin, Tobin to be all warm and fuzzy up in here talking about Bob.
Yeah, we can't let him get that.
He wasn't there. That's the reason why Bob went off.
Oh,
there you go. There you go.
The Bush was out of state.
He's exiled.
Notice he goes on vacation. Bob, unbelievable game.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Jeremy Shockey will be the honorary captain for the Canes tomorrow at 8 when they take on Clemson.
Tight end
8 o'clock too.
Love dual shock power. Yeah, I'm sick of these 8 o'clock games.
What's up with this, bro?
How old are you guys?
I like a night game, but I hate the fact that all weekend I'm gonna have to wait until like 8 o'clock.
That's pretty much it.
Wait, for both games.
Okay, what you do, you wake up, you start watching football. You go out, you tailgate for 5-6 hours, have some beers, watch some football, listen to some music, watch some bad ones walk by, go to the game, enjoy the game.
And then
That's what you do.
And then by first quarter, you passed out.
No.
Dan.
Break it down.
Dan.
Tell
First
him
of all, everybody ain't got it like you, brother.
Brother,
You out here
I'm
talk about what
dirty,
you would
dirty.
do. You talk
Leroy,
about what you would do.
dirty
Listen,
now.
if I get up,
dirty.
it's been a minute, but I'm gonna tell you like this. You know they have that
Iowa?
9:30. They got that 9:30 game this week, right?
Yeah.
They got that 9:30 game. So you
No,
gonna
no 9:30 games. There's no 9:30 games.
There's no
The next
European,
9:30
Mexico.
game. Gentlemen, do you know the next 9:30 game?
Yeah, it's going to be the Dolphins and the Chiefs.
The best game.
No way.
Yes, the best game this year.
Oh,
Germany's got it.
right.
Tyreek's first matchup against his former team, with all the aspects, all the variables, and for this season, this is the game to watch.
And it's exactly
it's
where
in
the
damn
NFL,
Germany.
It's exactly where the NFL wants it.
No, it's not. No. 9:30 in the morning.
You're being selfish. You're not looking at the grand picture. They want the whole world.
I'm
the whole
looking at
country
grand
waking up
something.
and being the only thing on first thing in the morning, fresh.
Patrick
everyone
Mahomes.
watching. It's not the worst move by
Yes,
the NFL.
that's what
I'm
the West
sorry.
Coast wants to do. Yes, my friends in LA, Leroy, Marcos.
The game started at what, 6:30 in the morning?
6:30 in the
Good
morning.
job.
And a little bit later in Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? A little bit early in Hawaii.
I'm sure the NFL's really worried about the Hawaii market.
Clearly they're worried about the Brazilian market and all these other markets trying to get the Super Bowl out of the North America. But yeah, this is nasty. Nasty work by the NFL. Bad job by the NFL.
Guess what? Guess what? And Vlad, I'm willing to put a wager that it'll be the most watched game that week.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, probably.
There you go. There you go, guys. Good job.
he couldn't even fake
You know
it.
why? Because I'm thinking the reason why, and no, before anybody takes a shot.
Here we go.
No, the top 3 highest rated games this season has been the Jets against the Eagles, Jets against the Bills, and the Jets against the Chiefs. And I'm trying to
where are these facts from? I need facts and
just
details.
You can look it up. They've been put
Up, bro.
NFL viewers are watching NFL games, but they want some type of story, something to look at. This Chiefs Dolphins game is going to be the most hyped up game. Especially if the Eagles lose to the Dolphins. The Dolphins beat the Eagles this Sunday. That Chiefs Dolphins game is going to be AFC Championship preview.
Yep.
Right.
And that's going to be hyped.
And you know what's going to be
can't-
awesome? It's going to be on a neutral site so we can see what team
And
is
that's
really
another
the real team.
literally that's a good point, Dan. That's a good point. So therefore,
into that one.
that
A neutral site is playing in Pasadena. It ain't playing in Germany.
Hey, stop talking about your Rose Bowl glory days.
I'm just saying. They don't do that no more. I mean, some of the best Super Bowls were in the Rose Bowl.
Pasadena. Yeah, they don't.
You
play
can't. You can't. They don't. They will not. If you don't have a team, you can't have a Super Bowl.
Let's get through some quick headlines so we can get on moving. The Heat have privately said they're not interested in trading for James Harden, at least not a direct trade. They may be a third-party trade where he goes somewhere else and they get somebody else. Nonetheless, preseason basketball continues from Houston. Tip is at 8 o'clock right here on 560 WQAM. Leroy, are you tuning in for some preseason NBA action?
I watched the other night. I watched the young kids, and it was, fun to watch. But then you realize at the end of the game, who's going to be that dog, and they didn't really have a closer in the game, so it kind of sputtered at the end. But I like what a lot of these young kids are doing. Jamal Cain, he got to get a spot, right? Got to. Dude is balling. But here's the thing: you ever notice in the preseason, especially with the Heat, a guy like Jamal Cain will ball out for 5 preseason games, and then he's sitting in the UD seat for the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was Jovic last year.
Yeah, but he got hurt. But he played early in the season. He played 11 minutes, had 11 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. I'm like, this can't help. And he got hurt. But yeah, so I'm not only I think the way we look at this team right now, right? And this is the honest truth. I think you're going to have to start relying on some of these young guys just for their energy, right? Because you got a lot of guys who are long in the tooth that's going to need those breaks. So you're going to need these young guys to perform.
No pun intended, long in the tooth, Jimmy with that dental procedure,
Oh, I hope he gets better, dude.
Oh, man.
Oh, get well soon. Missed a lot of games.
I hope he doesn't miss any regular season games with this dental procedure.
I don't know.
Oh, goodness.
Got a lot of teeth.
Man, I just wish the Euro qualifiers would end so quickly in FIFA, man. I'm just saying. Nonetheless, I know my cousin Vladimir Lewis sounds very excited about this. NASCAR returns to Homestead Miami Speedway.
You damn right I am. Playoffs, baby.
We run the Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and the Truck Series.
It's the finals, right? It's the final race.
No, it's the playoffs.
It's the playoffs.
Oh, I thought the final race was down here.
It used to be. Then they started that playoff system. But the final race used to be in Homestead, and it was always great. But now they have their playoffs, to get more viewers and more money. So this is just another stop in.
Am I the only one that I'll go past the channel, and then when they have like 10 or 15 laps left,
yeah, you're gonna watch.
Stay on. Okay,
of course. No, you watch the first lap, watch the NFL, and then you watch the last 10 laps just to see, who won. That's it.
Right. And I hate when
185
Marcos.
No, you're not watching 180 laps. Going around.
Nope. Remember that infomercial with the guy cutting potatoes? I'd rather watch that.
Let's take it even further. Let's take it even further. Not only are Marcos and I not watching the first or the last lap, when they show the highlights on ESPN, I'm getting up to go get another beer.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm like, is there any cornhole on? I'd like to watch.
All right. Injuries mean what? Leroy will describe to us what they're going to mean this coming Sunday night. Next, here on the Tobin and Leroy Show, 560 WQAM.
experience. If you over dwelled on individuals, that is a team that plays as a team, that they've dealt with injuries before, they'll continue to deal with them. And, if they have that jersey on, it seems like they all have the same intent, which is, a cool form of football that they enjoy playing together and are super aggressive and physical while doing it. So I wouldn't say that we would lose sleep on any individual, because I think that's doing a disservice to the whole unit.
I agree with Mike McDaniel. Injuries are a part of the game, but you are playing a team. Of course, center Connor Williams, he had limited practice yesterday, but he's optimistic that he will play. Cornerback Xavier Howard, once again, limited Thursday, but we're excited that he could possibly play. Fullback Alex Ingold, Cater Kahoo, of course, Jalen Ramsey not playing. Nick Needham, all of them a little banged up, but possibly could play. Andrew Van Ginkel had an illness. Running back Chris Brooks, still not ruled out. Of course, the Eagles, they have some people who had some issues. Devontae Smith, full practice. Cornerback Darius Slay, full practice. They've already said they want to play. They've got a couple other guys. Defensive tackle Jalen Carter, tight end Dallas Goedert, all-pro right tackle Lane Johnson, limited in practice. Status Sunday to be
That
determined.
means nothing. Limited.
He's limited, dude. He's limited.
I was limited. Hey, I was limited for my last 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. Leroy, you can't look into that, right? You have to just go out there and know, like what Mike McDaniel said, this is a team we're playing. All this limited, unlimited, they're somewhat hurt. Nah.
Here's what you have to understand about certain teams, right? And let's use Detroit as an example. You can't name 10 players on that team, but you know how they play. And I think that's the thing about Philadelphia, that they play a certain style of football that you got to deal with that and not necessarily who's doing it. You know they're going to be physical up front. You know they're going to come after you with the D-line. You know they're going to have a quarterback that's multidimensional. You know they got a dog out there playing wide receiver, and then he has complimentary guys in Devontae Smith and a couple of other guys. But they're going to play in a way that first they're going to try to run the ball and impose their will on you up front. And if you don't get through that, then all the other stuff and who's playing and who's not don't matter. It's the style of football in which they play is what you have to deal with, not necessarily who's playing.
Right. And I mean, injuries are a part of the game, but that's the thing. I think we get caught up sometimes in, maybe he's not 100%, maybe not this. But yeah, you're playing the Philadelphia Eagles. You're not playing Jalen Hurts. You're not playing Darius Slay. You're playing the Eagles. Same thing look at the Miami Dolphins offense. Devon Achane, not in these past couple of weeks. Have they slowed down? Not really, because you're playing a great offense with a great offensive scheme. Now, there are major parts of that offense that you still want, but at the same time, just because one or two men are down doesn't mean that you can just, it's going to be just a total lark. It's going to be a walk in the park. It's going to be easy. So the injury thing, I look at it to kind of assess where you need to be, but at the same time, I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world unless you're missing a major piece.
Right. And that's it. I mean, if Jalen Hurts was out or Tua was out.
Tua was out, yeah.
Right.
Different.
That's different. But you can survive without Tyreek. It won't be as good, right? But you can survive because you have Tua. Can Tyreek survive with whoever else would be in the game next? If Tua's not there.
Like White?
You saw that pick six. No, he can't survive there.
Skylar Thompson?
Skylar's the limit.
Oh, man. So, yep, that's one of those things. And I like that Mike McDaniel isn't making that type of excuse like, they're beat up and this and this. He said, look, you're playing a team. You're playing them at home. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. It is the biggest stage. I expect if anyone can go, they are going to go. You would have to be seriously injured to miss this big prime time matchup that everyone, and I mean everyone is going to be watching. And like Vlad said, it sets up perfect. If the Dolphins were to win, the game in Kansas City is like an AFC championship preview.
Well, one of the other things that I was thinking is that I'm not a narrative guy, but for some reason, and we didn't do this with Detroit, who plays in a terrible division. We don't do this with Houston, who plays in a terrible division, right? That they're 500 and CJ Stroud is playing well.
He's good.
Right. But we do it with the Dolphins. And so that narrative can end, almost as quick as Stephen A saying, oh, Tua does throw 2-yard passes. Right? The footage don't lie.
No.
So you can say what you want. The Dolphins go in there and take care of business. You can say what you want about Tua. You can say what you want about Tyreek. You can say what you want about Mike McDaniel. You can say what you want about everybody. But the proof will be on the football field that they have beaten an elite team and now must be considered as one of the elite teams. That's it. The narrative doesn't go away if you lose. They haven't beaten anybody, which still means nothing because those other guys are pros too.
Right. I think we get maybe with a win, we might get too high. With a loss, we might get too low. It's somewhere kind of in the middle. If you win, we're not winning the Super Bowl automatically. If we lose, it's not, we can only beat up on the little wimpy teams. And any team that's halfway good, we get beat up by.
First of all, it sucks that it's game 7. You got 10 games after this, 11 weeks. And a lot of things can happen in the NFL in 11 weeks. So it's a big game, but it ain't the damn Super Bowl.
This would be the one thing I'm worried about. If Philadelphia goes in there and, like the Bills, just out physicals us, maybe that's something we need to be worried about. That's really the problem. We have trouble with physical teams.
Dan, when I played with the Vikings and we were 15-1.
And you were very physical.
No, we weren't. That was the problem.
I was.
We got roughed up 2 times. We got roughed up against Atlanta. We got roughed up against Tampa, down in Tampa. 2 times. Right? And so if you're going to be the type of team that they are, you got to be able to be that team regardless of the type of game that's being played. And you've only had one real test of it so far, and that was against Buffalo. So now, but here's the kicker. Unlike Buffalo, I don't think Philly gonna run away from you.
Yeah, they don't have that power.
You're gonna be close the whole game, right? You're gonna be in the game the whole game because Philly hasn't proven that they could score 35 points this year.
They're averaging 25.8 points per game. That's 5th in the NFL.
Okay, but let's see. They lost last week. They scored 14.
And they looked really very mundane in that loss.
Right. They had a couple of games where they had a couple of games where, they really didn't put it all together. I just think that the Dolphins have a chance to run away from Philly.
Mm-hmm. Philly doesn't have a chance.
But Philly doesn't have a chance to run away from the Dolphins. Right? And the only way they can run away with it is if they just beat you up front and have 3 or 4, 10, 12 play drives with 10 rushes and 2 passes.
And they can do that.
Right. They can do that.
They can do that.
They can do that. But even doing that, the game is not going to get out of reach.
No, but I think what they're going to do, now this is one series that I remembered against, they played the Buccaneers on a Monday night, and they took it was 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
And they ran it all the way.
They ran that 9 minutes out. So that's what they're going to do because they don't want to go in a shootout against the Dolphins.
So you think
they're running the ball.
They're going to play keep away.
Yes,
they're going to slow roll it.
40-minute time of possession. They're going to try to get TOP between 35 to 40 minutes.
What do smart coaches do against very high-powered offenses?
Slow the game down.
Keep the ball away from them.
Yep.
You're going to see a lot of Boston Scott, Gainwell, and DeAndre Swift.
That's why I agree with Leroy. You win the opening toss, Mike McDaniel will take the ball. Give me another shot.
Take the ball.
The more shots, the merrier.
Absolutely.
And I'm not talking about because it's the weekend.
Sorry, shots.
Yeah,
Someone
more
say
shots, the
I
merrier.
think I heard
Yeah.
shots.
But here's the deal. Even if you don't have any success, you punt it and they end up with the ball in about the same spot anyway.
Yep.
So why not give yourself one more chance? Why don't you give yourself a chance to put it on them and have them thinking what the hell they gonna do defensively to
And
you?
You have a mastermind that is scripting the first 15 plays of the game. You got to believe in yourself. You got to go out there and do it. Punch him in the mouth. You've been said that you're not aggressive enough. You're not tough enough. Be tough from the very get-go. Set the tone. Go out there. Punch him in the mouth and make it happen. I do not want to see the Dolphins defer now, Leroy. I didn't even think I would say that today, but you.
I hate depending on who it is. So, for example,
well, the defense.
If I'm playing, think about this. If I'm the Dolphins and I win a toss against New England, I'm deferring. Because I want that bum on the field as much as possible, right? Mac Jones hasn't played well. I want him on the field as much as possible.
Yeah.
If you got the Jets, I want Zach Wilson on the field. He ain't gonna beat me.
Okay.
He ain't gonna beat me. That's what you do. You play the game. You can't go into every game with the same plan, right? Plans change. And so if I win the toss this week, the last thing I want to see, how would you like to go and your first time getting the ball, you got 6 minutes left to go in the first quarter?
Yeah.
Right?
A little deflating. Yeah.
So if that
the guy on the other
happens,
side was an MVP candidate last year too.
If that happens, now you're going to feel pressure. Like, we got to do this. So I want you to put it on them. I want you to put it on that offense. You know what? This is what's going to be required. I know you want to slow the game down, but boom, boom, here's 7 in your face. Now let's see if you're going to play that same ball control game. And if they flinch at all, if they think that this is going to be a shootout, now they play more into the hands of your defense and those pass rushers. But if they can just hand the ball off and RPO it and quick passes and things like that, methodically move the ball down the field without any type of resistance, it's going to be a long day.
We're going to do some Heat, Hurricanes, Dolphins, but next, we're going to take a quick break. And right now, we're going to take a break. And next, we're going to do a little horror movie trivia. Get you ready for the Halloween that's coming up in a week and a half from now.
11 days.
Thanks for the math. Here on 560 WQAM. Leroy Show. We got some horror movie trivia right now. I know this is the Halloween theme song. I got it. Boom, 1 for 1. Let's go. Marcos, take it away.
Oh, snap, y'all boys. You know the vibes. Leroy, do you know the vibes?
The vibes.
Got to play the game. You know,
All right.
Tobin's out. Got to play some games.
Yeah.
So I got some horror movie trivia. How would you say more or less your guys' horror movie knowledge is? You guys watch horror movies?
No.
No.
I think they're not entertaining at all.
Ladies love them, though.
No.
Ladies love them. So I have seen a couple of them because, you know, they used to know the ladies. And then they just like, I love horror
You know,
movies.
the last movie I went and saw,
Biggie were here.
last
Should tell you how
scary
much
movie.
you love horror movies.
the last
last
scary
film?
movie I went was when I was first dating my wife. We went.
Exactly.
Yeah,
She said, "You want to go see a movie?" I said, "I want to go see The Ring." Right?
Oh,
and so
yep.
we went and seen The Ring. And when that girl started doing the thing up the thing,
Oh,
and she's like, "I can't hear the movie. People are screaming." And I'm like, "That's me." hey,
Look.
that it wasn't my proudest moment, but I'm like, ah!
You were
Look at
just
her,
watching the movie,
her
bro.
arms and her ooh.
Look, we're
I
gonna
don't
start.
like scary. You
there.
know why? Because scary movies to me are all centered around stupid people, right? Like
Yeah, you wouldn't have a movie. if you
And
didn't have
you know
this.
the first person they kill on every one of the scary movies, Leroy.
the black person.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know why? Because if it goes on any further,
You're gonna have some
Right.
common sense.
no, he'll be out anyway.
exactly the movie.
He
would
like,
be
you know, he'd be like, "Y'all crazy. I'm out."
I'm out.
Why stay at this house party? There's people
you know,
dying.
you know what else I hate? Here's what I hate about scary movies. All scary movies. Why do the white girls and boys, because the black people are already dead, why do they running fast as hell, the bad guy walking, but they can never get away?
That's true too. I've always
Never.
I mean,
The bad guy have a limp, right? He
Leroy, it's
walking
the
with
same reason-
several tools and chainsaws and stuff, and they can't get away from that.
it's the same reason intangibles aren't allowed to play corners. No, they're not very shifty. You know, not very shifty.
What we got?
All right, let's start with the first one since Leroy is vaguely familiar with this. In the movie The Ring, how long did people have to live after watching the videotape?
I got it.
Wait,
7 days.
Vlad, I'm gonna start with you.
Was it a week?
All right, he says a week. Dan, what do you say?
10 minutes.
10 minutes after
No,
watching the video, you're dead.
I remember this movie.
Yep.
7 days.
7 days.
Okay.
A week.
The correct answer is 7 days. That's 1 point, Vlad. And that is 1 point to Leroy.
What did I say?
Oh
An
no,
hour?
Vlad heard.
said
Vlad
7
heard me. Vlad
Yeah.
heard me.
Well, don't yell out the answers, you know?
All right,
Well,
I
you
didn't know
said-
you were going around the horn.
All right, look, we're gonna go around the horn, and we're gonna keep it with softballs here. Pause. What is the name of the summer camp where Friday the 13th takes place? Dan, I'm gonna start with you.
Juvie.
Whew. Not wrong. Vlad?
Camp Lejeune.
Ooh. And Leroy.
I have no idea.
Whoa.
No.
Camp Crystal Lake.
I know.
Oh,
Come on.
I would have never gotten that.
Come on. All right, now what famous horror movie was originally dubbed The Babysitter Murders?
The Babysitter Murders.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with you, Leroy. What iconic horror film was originally dubbed The Babysitter Murders?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
All right. Dan, what
Rose-
iconic horror film was dubbed The Babysitter Murders?
Rosemary's Baby.
That's pretty good. There's
That
baby.
was on TV the other day.
Sickening.
That is actually pretty sickening. And Vlad, last one.
The Babysitter. It was dubbed Babysitter Murders.
The Babysitter Murders. And it's an iconic horror film.
Wow.
Oh.
Was there smoking involved?
Isn't there always some sort of
What?
teen shenanigans going on?
I could possibly amend my
I need to know.
answer.
I don't know.
Could be Halloween
Whoa! Dan Day comes in clutch at the end.
because Michael Myers kills the babysitter.
There you go. Halloween is the answer to that one.
Seen the original and the Rob Zombie version, both fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, it is actually.
I do love Rob
You didn't go
Zombie.
by yourself.
I was gonna say
Hey, you had a honey with you, right?
Shoot.
What?
I was gonna say Adventures in Babysitting with
That's what
Elizabeth Shue, but then I remembered it wasn't. There was
Leroy,
no
I
killings.
don't go to a movie by myself ever, so just know that.
All right. In which horror film does the tagline "We dare you to say his name 5 times"?
Ooh, come on now, Leroy, Vlad. I ain't gonna try to be like
Come
that.
on,
but Come on, man.
That's the only one the brothers are watching.
All right. Well, what is it? What's
Candyman.
Leroy didn't
Candyman
know.
hooking people. Hook.
Leroy didn't know.
Even I think even I
Pretty
knew.
green. Cabrini Green.
Candyman. Come on, man. That's all-
Chicago what?
The brothers know about Candyman.
I know about Candyman. Watch yourself. Cabrini Green Projects, Chicago. Represent. I'm not representing. I'm just saying.
All right, guys. This one's gonna be worth a bajillion points.
Uh-oh.
Are you
Wow.
representing over there, Dan?
No, I'm trying not to represent for the inner city, south side of Chicago.
Heard. What eerie film
Eerie. I like
is
the word.
credited with coining the notorious phrase, "Do you like horror movies?" That was a good impression. What eerie film is credited with coining the notorious phrase, "Do you like horror movies?" We'll start with you, Leroy.
Nope.
Heard. Oh, that's actually a horror movie. Yeah, that is a horror movie.
Oh, no.
But that is incorrect.
Yeah.
Vlad, what
No.
you got?
I don't know. I got
Nothing. Dan Day.
Scream 3.
Whoa! Scream 1996. I don't know which one that is, but you still get the point.
Woo! How is that an eerie movie?
I don't know.
Is Scream really a Halloween? Like
They got another
Oh
one coming
yeah,
out.
it's one of the greatest horror movies of all
it's not
time.
really.
They got another one coming out, dude.
And that dude gets impaled at the very beginning. Drew Barrymore's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Wait, question. Is Saw considered a
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick, what year did Saw come out? They're coming out with
2005?
Saw. Close, 2004. They got Saw X in theaters right now. Crazy.
Oh,
They made. I think Jigsaw supposedly died in the third one. Spoiler alert. Yet somehow they're on Saw X.
Real quick question: is Human Centipede considered a horror movie? I would say pretty horrible.
Yeah. I'd say yeah, dude. I'd definitely say yeah.
Get us another question real quick before Fig tells us to go to break. That's been my horror movie today.
Woo-hoo.
Go ahead,
All right,
Fig.
this one is going to be for all the marbles. It doesn't matter if you've only gotten one of them right.
It's like a big final exam. It's worth 80% of your grade.
So this is the final.
Absolutely.
This is the final Jeopardy question.
This is indeed the final Jeopardy question. Nah, this one's too hard. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next one. Which horror movie franchise is the longest lasting horror film franchise?
Oh,
Meaning the most movies,
wow.
the longest lasting.
Got you.
Isn't
Which
that
horror film franchise is the longest running?
Got you.
Friday the 13th?
Agreed.
Vlad?
I would say Friday, but since Leroy said it, I'm gonna go with Halloween.
The correct answer is for a bajillion points.
Well, Dan, did you go? Dan,
I already agree with
He
Leroy.
agreed with Leroy. Friday the 13th is the correct answer. And based off my calculations, Dan Day is a winner by a landslide.
Yeah. Wait. Here's a shocker. The white guy won the contest
horror
with guessing
movie.
about the horror movies.
Clearly, like in every horror movies, the brothers are gonna die first, so therefore
Yep.
it's not shocking.
Two brothers
That's
died.
pretty much what happened in this contest.
Yeah,
The brothers died first.
The only thing missing in this horror film is I got one more thing to do, which is a key to every horror film, but we're not going to get into that on the
Yeah,
radio.
got a hot chick.
You got to have a hot chick in the mix. I never understood that. People are dying all around you. Let's go upstairs and go in the room together for a little
Mess
bit.
around and then murder. Look at that.
Up next, going to get you caught up with everything that's happening in the sports world and so much more here on the Tobin and Leroy Show, 560 WQAM.
Listen.
Time for our Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tonga Valoa. Not
Tua Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua.
Tua.
Tua, Tua, Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Can go to hell. Tua Tonga Valoa. Dolphins quarterback. Daddy loves you guys.
Our Tua with Tobin and Leroy.
Check the history of food.
I was going to get Vlad and Marcos to help me out, but Marcos beat me to it. That's how you do it right
That's all
there.
Marcos, man.
I don't want to hear from anybody. Sunday night is a rivalry game between Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts.
Nick
Vlad
Saban
and I have talked about this.
You're right. Nick Saban should flip the coin.
Tua went in there and took that man's job in Alabama.
He did.
Then benched him for a year, then sent his ass to
Norman.
Oklahoma.
Norman.
And
Made
if
him
you
hit
got
the
the other
portal.
narrative, okay, let's go deeper. Tua gets drafted in a higher position than Jalen Hurts.
Fact.
Yeah.
But then Jalen Hurts goes to a Super Bowl and gets that contract before Tua.
Facts.
You don't think these two guys got something on the line? If you're saying, oh, no, that's not one of the narratives, go home with that. And
Revenge
Leroy,
game?
tell me that's not a narrative. Tell me
It
I'm-
is.
up.
It is.
If
And
they don't. They
and
got no pride if
it-
they don't. Think.
Here's the thing that I always fight against. Tua doesn't play against Jalen Hurts.
Don't matter.
And here's the other thing. The Eagles defense is better than the Dolphins defense.
Don't matter.
It does, because
It does matter.
who should have the most success? Not saying they will, but if you're just going by numbers, because that's all we have right now, because they ain't playing the game, you're going by the top-rated offense versus one of the top-rated defenses. And on the other side, you have a very efficient offense going against a defense who's not there yet. So if everything plays out like it should on paper, it'll be a close game. The Dolphins might not, score 40 points. Then what the narrative is going to be? It's going to be, oh, Jalen beat Tua, which would be ridiculous.
It doesn't matter. That's just still going to be the narrative.
I get it. I understand.
What if Tua for 5 years for his whole career goes 0 for 10 against Jalen Hurts? Technically, they didn't play directly head to head against each other.
Yeah.
But the narrative is he can't beat Jalen Hurts.
That's a different. Stop trying to set up the situation
Just
to
saying.
fit the narrative, which is what people do,
Mhm.
right? We just all I'm here to say is this. I know we're gonna look at this as Tua versus Jalen Hurts.
Which it should
All
be.
the things that you said are 100% accurate, but it's hard to have two players play against each other that never have to play against each other.
So the sexier is Tyreek Hill and Darius Slay.
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
have to go against each other.
They have
Thank
to go
you,
against
Leroy.
each other.
Why did it's
Why,
the
why
media?
not? Why aren't we talking about that then? Let's go. Let's break down the
because-
Tyreek Hill, Darius
Slay's
Slay
Because
matchup.
if you turn on ESPN and hear the words Darius Slay, there's only a handful of people know how good that dude is.
Everybody knows.
But if
him
you
because
go
of
on
the
TV
lineup on the back of
and
the Eagles
you go on
jersey.
ESPN and you say Tua or Jalen Hurts, now you got some ears.
Exciting.
Right.
That's
Simple
exciting.
as that. But that,
Yeah.
which is why I get annoyed at former players who know this, right? And don't just put it out there. It's okay to put it out there. It's okay to say, listen, this is not about Tua against Jalen Hurts, but I know that's what the narrative is going to be. You can say that. You can qualify it with that. But then go to your football analysis and say, here's what's going to determine the outcome of the game. I hate when people just run with that narrative because it's lazy. It really is.
Leroy, it's lazy, but that's how they sell. That's how they
No, I know that's what, and I said that. I said that. If you say Darius Slay versus Tyreek Hill, you ain't getting too many ears or eyes on your TV But if you put up Tua and Jalen Hurts stats, if you put up all those Alabama games, if you put up Jalen Hurts having to transfer to Oklahoma, now everybody's interested.
He took his job.
Put that man on the bench.
Yep.
No, but I mean, technically, what are you going to
Sent to the
focus on
Norman.
the offense and defensive lines? Because that's really where it's going to be settled this weekend. That's what we really need to be talking about.
Well, because
I
collectively,
agree with the matchup.
collectively, the Eagles have probably the best offensive defensive lines, right?
Mhm.
Well, last week they did it.
Last week they didn't. They played bad last week. Well, they also turned the ball over a lot. And old boy up front took that O-line's lunch money. You know what I'm saying? Who's the
Myself,
him and
Jermaine
who's
Johnson,
who's the D tackle?
Quentin Williams.
Yeah. You remember him? Wait, how about this? Him and his brother got a pick.
Pick and a fumble. Yep.
It's never happened. It's
Well, I
happened.
mean,
It's happened. Two
Jets have never
brothers
beat
got
Philadelphia
picks
ever.
in the same game, but not on the same team.
What are you laughing?
Right.
Oh, nothing.
Let's get to the headlines. They are brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks since we're in Fright Week, since we getting ready for Halloween. I'm gonna use my white truck because this is
that a
y'all
Bronco?
time to shine.
Is that a Bronco?
No, it's a Ford, dude.
And
A
what's the-
Raptor.
Oh,
Bronco got a back on it.
I'm just saying it looked very similar to something.
Broncos
Yeah.
don't have a quarterback though.
So
See what I did
yeah,
there?
so yeah, this is
Mm.
listen. Vlad, any of your boys ever say, yo, dog, I'm going to that Halloween Horrors Night this weekend?
Hells no. You crazy? No.
I went for a little bit.
Huh?
I went for a little bit.
No, you
That
didn't.
tummy hurt.
You got yelled at. You got in trouble.
No, I went. It was great, man. I was there for a solid 15, 20 minutes before my body was like, nah, we're gonna go home, actually. Y'all should check it out though, man. It's fun.
Like, can I just tell you?
Yeah.
Because here, I mean, you come up behind me and scare me. I
I'm
wanna
smacking the crap out of you.
Yes, yeah.
Like don't come with me, come at me with a weapon. I don't care if it's fake. I don't care if it's dull. Don't. Here's the thing about let me explain something to you all. If you don't understand this, the black community, we're very friendly. Just don't touch us if we don't ask you to touch us.
Yeah.
That is it. That is it. You could say everything except for certain words, but just don't come touch us. You touch us,
especially from behind.
especially from behind.
Oh,
You should touch
my
anybody
goodness.
from behind.
Yeah. But that's what
Yeah,
the whole
we don't like
the whole
these
theory
surprises.
behind and you know what? Let me stop faking because I scare the crap out of folks. Right?
Yeah, don't you scare children on Halloween, or is that Joe?
Do I? Why? Terrorizing.
Okay.
What?
Terrorizing the neighborhood, Leroy.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Listen, I hide behind bushes. I do all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna give you the full
Exactly
opportunity.
what you're talking about.
Leroy, you
though.
shouldn't be hiding behind bushes.
But here's the problem. Here's the
You have a-
problem.
you
No.
have a-
Here's why. Let me tell you how this all started. Okay. I was home by myself. All my family went trick-or-treating. I turned off the light, right? That means don't come to my door. Kids kept coming up to the door, right? So I turned on the light, put the candy on the porch, and then I went and hid in the bushes. So when you come and you put your hand out the candy, then I jump out. I didn't want to do that, but I tried to do it right. Hey, light off, don't trick or treat. But no, you kept ruining my knocking on the door. I'm sitting here watching TV, knocking on the door. Okay, so now I got to have some fun with it.
Someone's having
Guess
fun.
what? The next year they ain't come.
Speaking of a horror, it is a horror of a day for Saints tight end Foster Moreau.
Oh man, he cost me.
He dropped a wide open touchdown pass that would have tied the game. And I think, Leroy, we all agree the Saints would have gone for 2 in the last seconds of
You
the
think
game.
that? You think so?
Yeah.
No, not Peyton Manning. No, I mean that ain't Sean Payton. I mean,
That's Dennis Allen.
yeah, this
Overtime?
Yeah, I think they would have gone to overtime.
You here, Dan? Here's the theory behind this.
You go for the
At
Tyler
home,
Herro
you go into overtime. On the road, you go for 2.
Yeah, but when you're not the better team, you should try to end it right there.
No,
That's another rule.
that's
Right,
not,
but
that's
you-
not
I
how it
believe-
goes, Dan. I'm
No,
telling you
but
how
you
it
have-
goes.
but you believe in your defense more so than your offense. So if you could limit them to 3 points in overtime, you still have a chance to win. Remember, you have to score a touchdown to win in overtime now. I don't know. It would have been interesting.
Interesting question.
I know
But he dropped the ball.
Yeah, man, he dropped the ball.
It was an easy throw. I mean, that was an easy catch.
Interesting question right here. You ask the Saints, you have a chance to play the Jaguars tonight. One game will determine the fate of the game. One play will determine the fate of the game. You take that? Yes or no?
Yeah.
That's why you go for 2.
No. At home, you go into overtime. On the road, you go for 2. I didn't make those rules up. Those are the rules.
Do you remember our picks, Leroy? Who had yesterday's game?
I think Tobin took the Saints.
Oh, so he's lost.
Because remember I got on him about
did he take the points though? I don't even remember what that even means.
Well, the Saints were favored for some reason. I don't know why, by 3.
Nice.
Yeah, because nobody knew the status of Trevor Lawrence.
No, it came out pretty early that he was going to play, and they didn't move the line. So Vegas already figured that he was going to play. The line didn't move when it was made official that
Saints gets
going to play.
Oh, Saints is 3 points.
Man, that's.
Can I just say, Vlad, you screwed me on last week's picks, dude.
Hey, listen,
you screwed me on last
week's picks. Listen, nobody was going to win last week's pick. Every game went under.
Actually, everyone else went 2-1.
Hey, Vlad.
No,
I went 3-0.
3-0. Look at that. He went 3-0. They went 2-1. You gave me the Bills.
Bills should have won.
It was like a 14-point spread.
It
So was
mattered.
the Dolphins.
You covered the Dolphins, didn't you?
And then the Bears.
You covered the Dolphins, didn't you?
The Bears? Why would you pick the Bears?
Well, first of all, did I know Justin Fields was going to get hurt? If you told me Justin Fields was going to get hurt, then I would have not picked the Bears. The Bears were getting 3 points at home.
Kirk Cousins, man.
And they still had a chance to cover.
1 and 2.
And it happens.
Panthers got 3 points at home last night.
Nice.
They won 3-1 against the Maple Leafs. They are back at home tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Vancouver Canucks.
I look at the Maple Leafs jerseys, and it says owned by Florida on the tag. That's some nastiness, bro. It really
did see that.
Did you see that? Like I said, come on, man.
I thought that's what it said.
It said that, dude. They own Toronto. It's got. You know what's funny? It's great that Florida, the hockey team, owns 2 major hockey towns. Like they're in their mind. Boston and Toronto cannot get the Florida Panthers off their brain.
What's worth watching more tonight? The Heat's preseason game in Houston at 8 o'clock, or SMU and Temple playing college football at 7 o'clock?
SMU and Temple.
You might find your next Kendrick Nunn in this game.
We already found him.
Exactly. Preseason basketball.
You ain't gonna find him in one game. You've already heard about him by now.
But it was that 5th game, that final preseason game.
Yeah, but he also had a good summer ball too.
He did, but that final game where there was nobody, that was the one where he got 38 points, and then the next thing you know, he was in the starting lineup.
You're onto something with that.
I'm just saying. Who knows?
Dress rehearsal, maybe not a dress rehearsal.
By the way, there's none of the young guys playing tonight that can earn a starting job.
That is true, though. You guys are pretty.
We'll talk about that next. Get into some Heat action here on 560 WQAM. prepare for what is the biggest game of the year so far for them. The Philadelphia Eagles, 8:20 prime time. Team could be a preview of the Super Bowl. We're going to have to wait and see. Of course, we get a little preview tonight of the Miami Heat. They're getting ready for the regular season with another preseason game in Houston at 8 o'clock. Tyler Herro recently said that after what happened in the postseason last year, him not playing the team, making a run, he fully expected to be traded this offseason, but it didn't happen. He's happy to be here and wants to win a championship in Miami. A lot of people saying it's a revenge tour. I don't think it's a revenge tour because I don't know who he has revenge against. I think it's more just a motivation tour. Like he wants to prove that he is the guy. And I do expect him to have a breakout season, even more so than he did last year. I'm looking at 22, 23 points a game this year.
Isn't it amazing that we look at Tyler Herro and the only thing that's failed him is not his game, but his health. And it's been freaky injuries and stuff like that. Here's the other thing I get upset about. The prime of a basketball player is 26, 27. Why we do this with these 23, 24-year-olds, right? Tyler's game is going to keep improving because he's shown he's willing to put the work in. His ceiling is probably not even close yet. To say that he's going to have his highest scoring output in his entire career, or say this is going to be one of those years. I mean, he's already been in the league 4 years and he's averaging 20, right? Like that's no tall task. And we sitting here making him sound like, and other teams have made Tyler seem like he was a damn scrub.
Yeah, a lot of teams, he said,
I
don't want me, I don't want them.
Wait, 20 points per game on a team that's been winning. It's not a looter and a riot like we accuse SGA of doing in OKC.
I mean, they did make the playoffs, but go ahead.
They did, but you know what I'm saying.
Talk about like Mitch Richmond back in the day.
Whoa, Mitch
Wow.
Richmond. It's a Warriors.
What
reference.
is he?
I mean,
He fell off the face of the earth after the missed free throws, right?
Mitch
Yeah.
Richmond.
Was that who missed those free throws?
No,
Mitch Richmond, right?
Oh, that was Nick
Nick
Anderson.
Anderson.
Nick Anderson.
Come on, don't disrespect Mitch Richmond like that.
Mitch Richmond, the Rock. They called him the Rock.
called him The Rock?
He would have missed those free
Apparently.
throws.
That's what they say. That's what his nickname was. He did play for the Warriors, right?
He played for the Warriors, Kings.
Yeah,
he played
Kings for sure. Most recently, obviously. Most notably, I should
Other
Pompano-
trade
Pompano-
Recently,
Most notably, I should say. Not most
Okay.
recently. Most recently was the
Probably been out of the league
Lakers.
for 20 years.
Yeah, Lakers was 2001, but he had a decent run with the Kings. I'm sorry, Mitch Richmond just took me back. I apologize. I just completely derailed everything.
Pompano legend.
Is he?
I didn't know he was a Pompano Beach guy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
My boy Mitch.
Now, there's other trade talks, of course, with the Heat. Whenever there's trade talks, there's Heat talk. And James Harden has been not the talk of the town. He hadn't really done much. He's probably not going to play this season unless he does get traded. But it's been privately made known, apparently, that the Heat not interested in having Harden as a part of their lineup. Do you think Harden would be a good or bad matchup or a good match with the Miami Heat?
I just think that if you're a player that has had issues with management in the past, then you probably shouldn't be the guy coming to the Heat, because all players have a problem with how the Heat do things at times, right? Just like, and he's going to be required to get in shape. He's going to be required to play some defense. I don't know where James Harden is. Maybe he wants to win so bad that he'll swallow it and do what's asked of him. But if that's the case, he would just stay with Joel Embiid. Well, I don't know. No, I don't know if, like, when you look at the talent, yes, right? Facilitator who can average 20, yes. But it's the other stuff and how that stuff is going to affect your team and how you do things that you have to worry about.
I kind of look at it like the Dolphins with the quote unquote talks of Derrick Henry possibly being open to trade. Like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. It's just not right. It just doesn't seem
It's
like
kind of it's
don't look
like
good.
this. You've had success. If you bring that player in, does he further that success or hinder it? If there's any question, then you don't do it.
right. At what cost too? Very
Right. Exactly.
Now, you can't deny the 20 points, 10 assists a game. It's a lot of points. But as Marcos would say, it would ruin the vibe.
Oh, the vibes, dude. It would definitely ruin the vibes. You need good. I mean, it'd be good vibes off the court. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure he'll throw a hell of a party, but you need good vibes, Dan.
Do need good vibes. Man, that situation in Philadelphia is absolutely crazy. How much does he miss out on money if he doesn't play? I'm sure he does in some way, shape, or form.
I'm more than sure he's missing, I don't know. I don't know if he's helping the situation, but here's what it all seems to boil down to. They told him to opt in, and they're going to take care of him.
That is true. He lied to that man.
And they didn't do it. So he's, out here saying they lied to me and he's a liar and whatever. And they just kind of brushed that under the rug like no big deal. But that is a big deal. That is a big deal when you say how much respect you have for a player. You tell him you're going to take care of him, and then you don't.
Now, him saying that Morey is a liar and he's not going to play for him ever again, strong words. Damian Lillard, I'll only play with the Miami Heat. Anybody else, they get me? I'm not showing up.
He didn't. Here's what he said, and here's how we can get out of this.
Oh, you can get out of it? He's got a backdoor clause?
He never said he would only play for the Miami Heat. He said in all those interviews that he wanted to contend for a championship, and he couldn't do it there. And that was the deal. And he gave them everything. So take care of him. He said he wanted to go to the Heat.
His manager wouldn't report to anybody but the Heat.
But listen, even Dame Lillard knows. You got traded to Milwaukee. You can't sit here and complain about where you got traded for when you got basically traded to a team that just won a championship. Right? So he kind of, even though they didn't trade him to where he wanted to, they kind of put him in a spot where he can't really say nothing because he is with a contender.
Main question, are the Heat better with or without Damian Lillard? Be honest.
They never had him. They never had him. So you
Would
can't.
they be okay? Okay. You know what?
Semantic samurai.
No, you're asking a question would they be good with or without him? They never had him. So guess what? They went to the finals without him.
So you're saying we have enough?
You're saying we have enough.
You've shown, you've always proven it before.
Enough.
You've had enough. Yes.
By the way, James Harden loses $389,000 for every preseason and regular season game missed without consent of the Sixers.
I thought you were about to say he was about to lose 389 pounds because that's what
he's that boy been packing it up.
He could pack it up. He could look like Rick Ross playing out there.
He's in Houston somewhere. Maybe you will see.
I'm gonna tell you who's gonna look like Kenny Loftus Jr.
Oh, from Memphis.
Oh man,
that guy's athletic.
Kenneth,
all right,
Kenneth.
Kenneth.
He's very athletic. He's a big one.
Wow.
Leroy. Ooh, are we gonna see for Houston tonight? Old guy that talked all that noise to LeBron James and punched a guy in the groin the first play of preseason.
Oh, Dylan Brooks.
Brooks. Are we gonna see him tonight?
Man, maybe not.
He was they got the old Celtics coach, right?
He was almost part of the.
They got Ime. Oh,
yeah.
Houston, Ime's having fun in Houston.
Oh no, he ain't. No, he.
What do you mean?
He better get some get right.
Nah. Oh, come on, you get right in Houston.
No, I mean with his.
What, Nia? Nah, Nia done with him. Nia,
really?
Yeah, she told him so long.
So you're saying there's a chance
for
Think
you
about it,
baby?
If you a cheater, you a cheater. Because I remember Nia running down the street on Friday, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, what are we doing?"
He let her run.
Yep.
That was 30 years ago, though.
So what?
And
she still looked the same. She still looked good. That's like Halle Berry still look good. She bat bleep crazy, but that's a whole nother story.
I like bat bleep crazy.
You know what? You look like you be on the next episode of Love After Lockup. Vlad, starring Vlad.
I could deal with Britney Spears and her swinging knives.
I got you.
Wow.
Really?
And Love's a hot mess, though. That's
No, you didn't say that.
Wait, could you imagine between Dan and Vlad, them both go and get a hot mess of the week?
I
Oh,
got
that's
it.
like
back
every
to little-
weekend, bro.
wait, with
Isn't
little
that like a
bruises.
segment that he has anyway?
Hey, yes,
Every
Dan.
weekend.
Dan,
Come
you
on.
come to work with bruises every day.
I've done that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's done that.
Definitely done that. Physical and emotional, man. It's one of those things. You got to do it. You got to do it. But all right. So Dylan Brooks, Ime Udoka, see a little bit of them tonight. In Houston, there is nothing to do in Houston except go to strip clubs. I ain't gonna lie.
That's a fact.
Papa Do's.
And eat
Hey,
Trill.
okay, you go to Papa Do's.
Oh, and eat Trill Burger.
Trill. Oh, that's
Yeah,
Bun B spot.
That's
right?
Bun B spot.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw him giving those away. Actually, that got James Harden into some controversy when he was at Rolling Loud. Wasn't he? He had like 4 or 5
Trill burgers.
burgers.
Yeah,
And
they're
people were
good.
Like, what are you doing?
What
Jay?
are you
I mean, he was
doing?
handing them out, but it just wasn't a good look for him. Just wasn't a good look.
You know, when you eat 4 or 5 burgers at a concert, a festival, you know what's going
You're
on.
standing too. It's
Yeah,
not even
yeah.
comfortable.
You
You
got
need
the
to-
munchies.
That means
You got the
that
crazy munchies, or you're trying to make
the
before.
hunger or the munches that you feel, you say, "Don't judge me. Give me another one." Yeah, that's it. When you get yourself to a point where you don't feel like nobody could judge you, you just do
Oh, you don't care. You
don't
don't
care?
care. I just need
No.
this food.
If you've been criticized for your weight or your health or your training, you should probably eat in private. That's my rule.
At Rolling Loud.
Yeah, go eat in a porta potty.
But here, Dan. Can I just say this,
Portable
Dan?
potty?
Dan, let me say this. What you saying right now is what you do when you go through the gate, right? But as soon as you start drinking and doing whatever, you forget about that.
I'm gonna eat it right here.
You need some
Yeah.
good people around you, man. That's why. Good people.
You need your own porta potty if you're gonna go to Rolling Loud.
That's why you get a private porta potty. You can
There
do
you
whatever
go.
you want in that porta potty.
He's
It's not
onto
as dirty
something.
and nasty as the rest of them. It's a life hack right
Man,
there.
didn't we see that video with the chicks fighting in the porta potty?
Oh
Oh, yeah. That was
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
That was
I
intense.
was like, it was at a
Kevin
country
Day was
concert.
loving it.
Wait, was that the one where some old lady was getting beat up and her daughter came to save her?
I don't know the backstory.
Oh no! All I know is it started. Some girl cut the line.
Yeah,
and
that
another
was
girl-
it. Some girl cut the line on an older lady who didn't have she was a mom like at a country concert. Some young lady was upset and started like hitting the mother, and her daughter saw that. Her daughter came in running like the ultimate warrior and
That's
took
true.
the living.
Title of that one is two girls go in, one comes out.
I don't know,
Oh
dude.
my
Can I
God.
just tell you, there's a few places I ain't fighting. I ain't fighting another man as much as I hate him in the shower, and I ain't fighting nobody near a porta potty. And
I wasn't fighting the bathroom or
No.
near any toilet.
As soon as
or-
I'm done with this,
yeah.
but how about this? Here's the crazy part. Is that the first all-female fight you have ever seen on Twitter or on social media
No.
where nothing was exposed? Not even a cheek.
yeah, no wardrobe malfunctions.
Well,
No.
I mean,
Solid,
well, hold
fighting,
on.
though.
I'm sorry. Look who the participants were.
Yeah.
lashing out.
I'm sorry. There was just really much to work with.
I think
And
if you
plus
were-
it was
you were
country. It was country
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Because they all had boots and tight
Boots,
shorts.
yeah.
yeah. I'm
Flannels.
sorry. Yeah. I mean, if it was
Hats.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did
but-
see Dan Day exiting out of the back, though.
weaves,
With a troll
eyeliners,
burger.
nothing. Everything would have been shown if
Yeah.
if it was like a hip hop concert or
Rolling Loud.
definitely rolling loud. Definitely rolling loud.
Yep.
Eyelashes, weaves, and the clothes.
People having hands full of hair and don't know whose hair is for.
I'm still trying to get over two men fighting in the shower that you said, Leroy. That's
Well, Leroy's had to see that. I mean, this has teammates ever fought in the shower?
Dude, so we had
We go.
so what's his name? Who's the big he fights over in Japan. Bob
Sapp?
Yeah. I played with Bob Sapp in Minnesota.
Oh, jeez.
Guess what his problem was? He was strong as an ox, but you had to convince him to be physical every play. Right? It was the craziest thing that you see him fight 5 guys in one night on pay-per-view, and we couldn't get him to. He was so strong, they tried him on defensive line, they tried him on offensive line. He just wasn't his thing. Like, you got to have the mentality to play football. That wasn't his thing. So, but Bob was scared of spiders. So every time we went on a road trip, we would all buy these little bags of plastic spiders and throw them on him, right?
What?
And
Why?
so Bob,
No.
yes, so Bob finally, it was all about the jokey joke, right? So Jeff Christie was the center. And Bob, we had all planned out. Bob was going to get mad at Jeff Christie for messing with him and go after him in the shower, right? So Bob had on some shorts and he had a chair and he started, I'm tired of this. Christie, come here. And he went and met him as he was coming out of the shower. And Jeff goes, hold on, man, let me put some drawers on or something. Right? Because he thought they was getting ready to fight. And we just died in the locker room.
Did he allow him to put on like anything though? Or did he just
No, Bob was just kidding.
It was a joke.
It was just to mess with Jeff Christie, who was naked coming out of the shower.
But at least there was some decorum here. At least like, hey man, we're gonna get this on. At least let me get some shorts on so that I'm not gonna be fighting you off willy-nilly.
Let me tell you something.
At least there was some.
I wasn't considered a small dude. Like I was pretty cut. Bob Sapp was 315 and I couldn't see no fat. So when that dude looked mad, holding a chair, walking into the shower, the people that didn't know what was going on got the hell out of his way.
Absolutely disgusting. Expectations for Tua this weekend next on Tobin and Leroy 560 WQAM.
WQAM.
Finishing up hour 2 of the program. We need Tua to ball out this weekend, but realistically, will Tua ball out against a very, very, very good Eagles defense, especially with that defensive line? Realistically, I'm going to ask you, Leroy, what should we be expecting from Tua? Now, we got Mike McDaniel. We got this great offense, but we're going up against a big-time defense. What type of numbers, what type of stats, what type of game should we expect from number one?
You should know what type of game it's going to be early on. And here's what you need to see. The only teams that have slowed Tua down
Only
are the
team.
teams. Well, no. New England slowed him down,
That's true.
right? But
They had-
it's the
how many
style of
safeties
defense.
on the field? 4.
Here's what you look for. Can they get pressure on Tua with rushing 4 or 3? If they can, it's going to be a long day because they're going to drop everybody in the coverage and they're all going to be sitting in between the numbers, right? And now you're going to have to go methodically down the field, much like Philadelphia will do. That'll be the only issue that I see there. Now, if they feel that they got to put some pressure on Tua and Tua makes some plays, then there's opportunities for big plays, right? That means, Waddle going across the middle out the other side. Tyreek down the field. You have other, options if they decide to go after Tua. But I think the teams that have had success have rushed Tua with 4, dropped 7 or 8 in the middle of the field, and dared them to go 10 plays down the field. Now, against New England, they did it. And a lot of people didn't really notice what was happening there. They didn't care. They just were going to not give up the big play. So I'm wondering if you're going to see some of that as far as that. If that's the case, you might see something like 20 for 25 for, 220, 230, maybe a touchdown, right? But that's just going to be the game that's going to be asked to be played, and you're still going to have to play that game mistake-free. If they come after Tua, now there's opportunities for big plays, right? And depending on what the score is, then I see a situation where the score gets up there, right? Because if they try to go after Tua and miss, that usually results in a big play. Also, I think more than anything, Mike McDaniel will do his best job of trying to get the run game going, right? Because contrary to popular belief, you want to do the same things they're trying to do to you. I want Jalen Hurts on the field feeling that he has to score. That's tough for any quarterback. I don't care how good you are. You start pressing. You make mistakes. It's hard to stay poised when you lose it. It's hard to take what the defense gives you when you're down a score. And so then it becomes, who's going to blink first? Is it going to be Tua or is it going to be Jalen Hurts? The most recent we saw is Jalen Hurts been, flinching a little bit, trying to force it. If we can get some of that, then you can create some turnovers, get some more scores, more opportunities.
Going to get you caught up to date with everything that's happening in the sports world. Maybe even take a look at that Hurricanes-Tigers game that's coming up tomorrow here on 560 WQAM.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life.
Let's go crazy this weekend. Hurricanes playing the Clemson Tigers. Dolphins going up to Philadelphia playing the Eagles. Hard to believe this, but the Hurricanes have not won a home ACC game in Mario Cristobal's year and a half here in Miami.
That's nasty.
That's, first of all, that's ridiculous.
It's nasty work.
It's one of those. It's one of those stats you have to sit back and go, "Huh? Let me think about that." You know, he's right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that just shows you where they've been. You know what I mean? Like, and the reason why they don't have a win is because of Mario Cristobal. So he can't put it on nobody else.
Could this be the weekend, though, that the Hurricanes go in there and not only get their first ACC win at home, not only get their first ACC win, but also kind of put a nail in the coffin of this Clemson legacy that's been and really countrywide for the past decade.
It's been fading for the last couple of years. That being said, they still have been the staple of the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so you can say what you want about them struggling or having a down year or whatever. Until somebody upsets them, until somebody else represents the ACC, it still goes to them.
I mean, somebody will be representing the ACC this season other than them. It's either going to be Carolina or Florida State.
It's looking that way.
But Miami, if you can give them a third loss, then that looks bad. Right. That looks bad in Clemson. Like it's gonna be hard for Dabo to go to those boosters and start talking.
It's gonna be hard for him to try to win football games in the name, image, and likeness of God.
Right.
Better go get some of that name, image, and likeness money.
So that's what's gonna happen. But yes, it would be nice if Mario's first ACC win at home would be against Clemson, and then you can put the final nail on that Clemson dominance over the ACC like you said, over the past decade.
My whole thing with the Canes is this. When the season started, I was so happy to see the way the young men were playing.
I was going to say
the message that, it had nothing to do with the teams they were playing. To me, it had to do with there were no swag penalties. Everybody was on the same page. They were playing, really good football. Granted, it was against lesser opponents. And so my whole thing is, okay, now let's test that theory against a team that you're level than or maybe not as good as. Are you going to maintain your poise? Are you going to, play with discipline? And they didn't. And so it's hard for me to come to the conclusion that they've gotten past all this stuff when every time it gets tough, you revert back to your old self. Now, this week, I want to see, right? Because there's going to be some adversity. Clemson's a good football team.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be some adversity. Are you going to stay the course? Or is somebody going to do something stupid and add 15 yards to the end of a play or something like that and give them another possession? Is it going to be 3rd and 4, right? Or 4th and 3, and they get you to jump off sides and give them a first down? Then they go down to score. Are you going to be able to be poised even when the situation is not at your best? That's the question I have for this team right now. That's it. That's including coaches.
No, that's what I'm saying. I've liked the play on the field. I think they've been athletic. I think they've been physical. I thought they've been really good. It's the silly, stupid stuff that's done them in.
And we thought we were past, Dan. That's the whole point.
Not just the
players.
We
thought we were past that.
And that's on the coaches, too. I mean, it's not just the coaches being silly and stupid, but not coaching up the players enough. If it weren't for the silly, stupid stuff, we're looking at a team that could possibly still be undefeated or maybe just one loss. Definitely only one loss.
Right. Exactly.
But they're physical up front. They're athletic.
But
they look good.
Here, Dan, let me caution you here.
Part of the game.
It's one thing to be dominant and physical against Bethune-Cookman.
I know.
Okay. But your first test, and it wasn't even a real test, was against Georgia Tech.
Mhm.
They hung with you as far as physicality, right? When you look at North Carolina. Now, there is no sign, no greater sign of physicality up front than having a running back run for 200. So in the last few years, they've had a 300-yard rusher and two 200-yard rushers. That ain't physical up front. Now you're going to get to this week, and they're going to try some of the same stuff. They're going to try to be physical up front. Whoever the running back is, they're going to try to establish that run. They're going to come to your house and try to push you around. How are you going to respond to that?
Got to go after him.
Right.
This is one of those games. So Mario Cristobal, his signature win has been this Texas A&M game earlier this year. This could be one of those other signature games. And it's kind of also a symbolic getting over the hump. You know, you're beating Clemson and you're getting that ACC win. This is one of those games that, man, a 3-game slide would really be painful for this Miami Hurricanes team.
Well, it would just, you know what? It's, you know, we all, and we have this problem with both our teams down here, right? Like fans, talking heads, everybody in South Florida are waiting to say this phrase. Same old Canes, same old Dolphins. Right? I don't blame anybody for saying it because you've struggled for years, you know, being that team that you once were. That being said, this helps even the fan base move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Until you accomplish it against one of those teams. So if the Dolphins are top 5 and you play another top 5 team and you clip them, right? Now we can have the different conversation about moving forward, and this who we are now, right? If you see the Canes and they come out and win the next 3 games and look like they've gotten over that Georgia Tech and North Carolina game, now you can, you know, go to these games or watch these games and say, hey, they're getting better. These are the things they're doing now that they weren't doing in the past. But every time it gets tough, the past seems to rear its ugly head.
Yeah. So, and it's so weird. Like psychologically, teams, sometimes it's just like, uh-oh. And then they just do it. And I know how it is. Like,
it's a tough, see here. The thing is that, first of all, you have to believe that being poised and disciplined is going to win you more football games. For some reason, these kids get out on the field and they want to run their mouth. And then when somebody talk trash back to them because they're getting beat up a little bit, instead of staying the course, now we got some extracurriculars and you end up giving a 15-yard penalty because you call yourself trying to be tough. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is that is the fakest toughness there is on a football field, is getting a 15-yard penalty. Because that means you ain't being tough during the play. You're being tough after the play, which is not real tough.
Nah, that's not when it counts. No,
right.
Not
So I just want to see, one, looking forward to the Dolphins having an opportunity to play one of the elite teams. They're established elite.
Yep.
Right.
And
they're not trying to get
a lot of experience in big games too for the Eagles.
Right. And I want to see how this defense responds to that multi-layered, multi-talented, all levels offense. And I want to see how the linemen take care of that front four, because they're really good. As far as the Canes, it's to the point now where, for me, it's not even about wins and losses, although it's important. For me, if you're building something for the future and you're building a culture, which all these coaches talk about, right? That culture has to do with how quick will you revert to your old self and be undisciplined if things go bad. And we got a taste of that last week, did we not?
Mm-hmm.
So The message is not there yet.
I think it's Canes need to play hard and get rid of the silliness.
I've never, like, every time the Canes come up short, we don't go to the play on the field. We go to the plays after the play, right? It's always something stupid. You third 3 and out, somebody is jawing with somebody 30 yards down the field and get a flag. Stupid stuff. First of all, you ain't good enough. You ain't good enough to be giving away freebies, right? If you do anything, but don't give away freebies, no turnovers, no swag penalties, no extracurriculars, you'll be in every game.
Yeah.
But that has plagued this team for years.
Change it this weekend. Let's get to the headlines real quick from the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Panthers looked good last night. They won their home opener 3-1 against the Maple Leafs. Sergei Bobrovsky has been really good, and we're going to expect a lot from him because there's not too much back-to-back, or like the schedule isn't too hectic for the Panthers early this season. So kind of ease him through. Of course, we're playing the Canucks tomorrow, 7 o'clock at Amerant Bank Arena. Can't wait.
I just forgot. I saw the sign the other day, and I forgot it was Amerant now.
Amerant.
I'll tell you what, down here, I mean, all these other leagues and teams, and they don't change, they don't change names very often. We've had a bunch of changes down here in a short period of time.
Kind of who we surround ourselves with sometimes, We're
what? Vlad, you've heard this before. All money ain't good money.
Good money.
That's true.
Definitely know that part.
Yeah.
Rumors persist that Luis Suarez will join Inter Miami next season as his contract in Brazil is up. Tata Martino says the team has plans to go on forward with or without him. Well, the Herons, they're finishing out the season Saturday. That's tomorrow against Charlotte at 6 o'clock. Lionel Messi says he wants to play. I don't think he really needs to. It's a meaningless game.
I think it might be a while before we get an opportunity to see him again. So maybe he feels, obligated to get the people something.
Leroy, I'll allow you to elaborate on this one. Michigan Wolverines football analyst Connor Stalions is a person of interest for the NCAA in their sign stealing investigation. The low-level staffer has a military background.
Telling you, man, your man's bouncing, bro.
No.
It's end up, isn't it?
No, listen, Leroy, I've been saying this to you for the last couple of months. I'm telling you, they're going to win the national title this year, and he's out. He's sick of this. They're trying to get him, and for some reason, they're trying to figure out every little thing they can to try to stick it to Michigan somehow, some way. I think he's going to win the national title, and he's going to say bye-bye because the NFL is going to be waiting for him with all these great quarterbacks coming out next year's draft. Somebody's going to give him money.
I've already done this in my head because that's what we do as sports fans, right? I already know where he's going to end up.
Oh, so he's not going to stay in Michigan?
If he doesn't, I think he's going to stay.
Chicago Bear.
No.
LA?
You heard it here first. Los Angeles Charger.
Yeah, okay. I can see it. It's either going to be Chicago or LA. That's how I look at it.
I mean, do you want Justin Fields?
I do. I like him.
You don't have to have Justin Fields. Remember, you also have the 2 picks next season.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? A guy who's known to build up quarterbacks that sometimes haven't lived up to their potential.
Or a coach who builds up quarterback and is going to be able to get the number 1 quarterback and the number 4 wide receiver.
Stays in Michigan.
They have like 2 number 1 picks next year's draft, don't they?
Stays in Michigan.
I believe the Bears.
Yeah, I don't think he's leaving though, Vlad.
I think the NCAA is pushing him. He's gonna be like, I'm sick of these guys. I'm sick of these guys. I've set up Michigan to be dominant for the next 5 to 10 years. If I win a national title, I've done everything that I was supposed to do for my university.
No,
they're messing with me.
It don't work like that.
They're messing with me.
It don't work like that there.
I'm just saying they're messing with me.
All right.
It would be the equivalent to Dan Marino coaching the Dolphins. That's what that's like.
Right. And if the NFL is messing with Dan, Dan's gonna be like, you know what? I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. I got the Super Bowl. I'm out. I'm good.
All right.
I'm gonna go do Ace Ventura movies.
That and the Heat are going to be in Houston tonight. Tip-off is 8 o'clock. You can hear it right here on 560 WQAM. Up next, Tua, our Tyreek MVP. We'll discuss. Tobin and Leroy Show, 560 WQAM.
Sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers. Experienced amazing.
So we got a big game this weekend. Of course, we've been talking about it all day long. Dolphins, Eagles. ESPN's been pretty all over the Dolphins. Seems like every time you look up, they are talking about them. Recently, they ranked their MVP candidates. Number 1, Tua Tagovailoa. Number 1 on honorable mention, Tyreek Hill. What would it take? And we're going to get to Cat Talk in just a little bit. I'm not worried about the Panthers right now when we've got the biggest game of the year happening this coming Sunday. Home opener, Cats win. Yeah. What would it take for Tyreek Hill to win the MVP? I don't know if they'd ever give it to a wide receiver in this day.
Here's the problem.
He doesn't return kicks.
Here's the problem.
He doesn't play defense.
If Tyreek Hill actually gets 2,000 yards, Tua damn near going to throw for 6,000.
That's the problem.
And then it's going to go right back to the quarterback.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, I mean, what would it take for Tyreek Hill to win the MVP? Would Tua have to get hurt, but then Mike White would have to come ball out?
Mikey Blanco?
I just don't see a way Tyreek Hill wins it.
Mikey been throwing it to the wrong team.
Yeah, Mikey does that.
Tyreek Hill, though, man, he's so good this year.
He's always been good. What's great about what he's doing is that a lot of people, when he first got traded to Miami, thought that, oh my God, you're not there with with 15 anymore. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Well,
He's had his best year.
He's had his best 2 years, maybe.
2 years, right?
You know,
he has the second most yards through 6 games in NFL history. The other day on ESPN, the question with Stephen A was, is Tyreek Hill one of the greatest of all times? Corner of the screen, there's a picture of Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, and Larry Fitzgerald.
No,
he's
not yet.
Give me 2 more. Give me 3 more years of this. And
Right.
I'm up
Exactly.
there. 3 more years of this.
Because here's the problem. Because how dare they not include Randy Moss?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Because Randy Moss was a freak as far as speed before Tyreek. People don't realize it because he was so tall and he wore them big thigh pads. But Randy could flat out run. And so I would say this. Jerry Rice might be the greatest football player to ever play football. But as far as being a skilled wide receiver, I think there's other guys who have been more skilled. And I do the same thing with Emmitt Smith versus Barry Sanders.
Woo!
You see what I'm saying?
Woo!
It doesn't take away from anything that Jerry Rice. He might be the greatest football player with his longevity, with his success, with it didn't matter what you did to him, he was getting his. Right?
Reminds me of Travis Kelce. Minus Taylor Swift.
Yeah, but
I mean, Travis Kelce is, and you know what he's doing.
A tight end is always limited, though.
I know.
Right?
But I do want to say this. Tyreek Hill, barring something crazy, is going to be the first receiver to catch over 2,000 yards in a season.
Yep.
What if the Dolphins win the AFC East, maybe the number 1 seed in the AFC, and he has a couple of big signature catches that really put him over the top in the clutch, which he's already kind of done this year? That's still not enough to get him MVP because of Tua?
No, because it's a quarterback award.
But what about a lot of signature catches that are like, whoa? Let's say like 4 or 5 of them.
Dan, let me
y'all remember when Tom Brady threw the ball up to Randy Moss with 3 guys on him and he outran him and went and caught it?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, this is what's gonna happen.
Brady got one vote in 1998. That was it.
I think Waddle, just what he just messaged right there is exactly what's gonna happen. They're gonna give Tyreek Hill the award, Offensive Player of the Year award, the same way they gave Cooper Kupp when he won the Triple Crown. He was the Offensive Player of the Year.
Yes, which is the closest. I think Megatron. Did Cooper Kupp beat Megatron? Because I know they were neck and neck. It was like 1960 somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think Megatron was like 1986.
Yeah,
he was only 14
Cooper
yards.
Kupp was 1964 or something like that.
Right, so he's second. I think Kupp was second, and Megatron.
Okay,
and we forget about him.
Okay,
Yeah.
We mentioned about
Okay.
all-time greats.
Right.
Question
And-
though.
But your question, to answer your question, you also got to remember the narrative of Tua. If Tua puts up some crazy numbers and maintains his health and he's upright for like the season, he's going to win that MVP award. That it's that when you have a narrative where everybody's kind of knocking you for something and you show them that you can stay healthy and you can throw the ball and look at the numbers you're putting, he does that. He's absolutely winning the MVP because of the narrative. It's been 3 years. Not even 3 years, ever since he's been drafted by the Dolphins. There's always been a narrative about him, and he's overcoming a lot of the critiques that people had.
You have to be a different level of person to go through what Tua went through his first 2 years and still be able to perform the way he is. Because I give you the other side of that. Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen didn't do nothing wrong. He did not get an opportunity to develop. They drafted another quarterback, a year later?
Yep. Kyler Murray.
Right. So, yeah.
Some guys don't have it, man. They don't have the toughness. Look, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen didn't have it. Tua had it.
Their franchises didn't do them no favors, though.
No,
Right.
not at all. Not at all.
Like,
But
let's not forget, we have skipped the development of professional athletes.
oh yeah,
We've skipped that. Like, it is when you get drafted, you are a prospect. You are not an NFL or NBA or baseball
No.
player yet.
no,
You're
we
merely
drafted you to
a
come save the
high-ranking
day.
prospect.
It's not true. We've drafted you to come save the day, and from day one, you need to come in here and you need to save the day.
Well, that's what you want, but that ain't the reality of it.
People forget too. This is what people forget too. Like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow immediately made a difference. He was on a terrible team, got injured, didn't play the second half of the season.
Right. And
We
he's
put a
been
lot
getting
on
killed
guys.
ever since.
He's still been getting killed.
He's
But
finally healthy, though.
Hold on, but hold on, Leroy.
Though, every year, same
then
thing.
this is
Start
what you
slow.
But this is I'm glad you brought that up because this is a point that a friend of mine said. Joe Burrow's doing great, but he's getting killed. But whose fault is that? Because they decided to get Jamar Chase. Now, as great as that duo has been, they could have got Penny Sewell, and you
Right.
could have shored up your offensive line.
Correct.
So if you you got to the Super Bowl, that's great. But sooner or later, if you didn't win the Super Bowl with that tandem, and he's taking all this abuse, and you just paid him $250 million, for the next 5 years, it's on your team, it's on your general manager, it's on your scouting team for not picking something to value for the next 5 to 10 years. You went for the quick fix.
I can't even argue it, but I'm telling you what. Jamar Chase, goodness.
I was
No,
gonna
he's
say.
great. No, you know what I'm saying? No,
All right.
but understand this. It's great, but if you don't have somebody to protect them, it's gonna be hard for Joe Burrow to be throwing that
You'll
ball to
find
Jamar
some-
Chase.
Kansas
But
City
you see the
Chiefs-
way the game is going. You see
Come
the way the game is
Come
going.
on.
Nobody listen. If
No.
they would have drafted Penei Sewell, everybody would have said, "Oh no, to get somebody to protect." But since they drafted Jamar Chase,
Throw it to.
right? Yeah.
Okay, let's say this. Remember when the Kansas City Chiefs still going to the playoffs, going to the Super Bowl almost every year? There was a time when they had one guy that was drafted in the first round on that offensive line. They're still going to the Super Bowl. You need weapons. If you say, "Oh, we don't need Tyreek Hill, we need to protect Tua with somebody," no. Penei Sewell. How much better are the Bengals with Penei Sewell without Jamar Chase? Are they that much better or are they that much worse?
I mean, T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd isn't bad. And
no, okay. Take away all the weapons. Give them the best offensive line in the world and no weapons. And see what, you stand back there all day.
What I'm saying is you have Penei Sewell and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd, I think maybe Joe Burrow's not as hurt.
How good is Tua without Tyreek Hill? Does he lose something?
How's Teron Armstead doing?
That's what I'm saying. Teron Armstead's out. Tua's still balling.
Right.
You take Tyreek Hill out. Does he ball as well? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just saying it's sexy and cool to say, inside football.
I've seen. Guess
Sexy
what?
and cool.
I saw Jalen Waddle gone, and I seen Tua put 70 points on the
Still
team.
got Tyreek Hill.
Okay, so that doesn't mean that if Tyreek is missing that with Jalen Waddle
Hey.
there, that he can't put up points.
Vlad, here's the funny part. The funny part is we talking about all the protection that Tua has been getting. We really trashed the O-line the whole offseason.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah.
And I said just before, maybe they knew something about that offensive line that we didn't, because
Yeah,
they
there's
didn't
some
even
throwback.
flinch.
Well, which is why this Sunday night's game is very important because they're going against a formidable.
Yes.
I wouldn't say formidable, Vlad. I would say the best, probably front four in all the NFL.
No, I think there's a team in New York and San Francisco. Listen, I know
that San Francisco defense.
I know that my front four put a whooping, the worst whooping that Philadelphia offensive line seen in a long time.
Look at what Cleveland did to
Cleveland
San
did to San
Francisco.
Francisco. Look what San Francisco did to Dallas. So there's some unbelievable front fours in this league.
Look how pedestrian
and the
Brock
Eagles
Purdy,
are one of them.
Look how pedestrian Brock Purdy got when a couple of his weapons went out.
He throw his first pick?
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Real pedestrian when you don't have those weapons.
You know, you look pedestrian if your field goal kicker doesn't hit the game-winning field goal.
Yeah, that was a 41-yard field goal. That was pretty easy.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
to
easy.
say easy.
I'm not going to – hey, I'm out of this conversation.
You're out?
Yeah.
No, Cleveland won.
He went to Michigan.
Oh, Moody?
Yeah.
So how were you feeling? You wanted
Oh,
your
no, I didn't care about that.
Oh, yeah, you wanted your team.
Am I going to root for my team or a kicker? Come on, man.
Kicker
What are
from
we
the
doing?
university, though.
Does anybody go out there and really root for kickers?
Although, I mean, his family.
For years, Mark
family?
Anderson was really important to the Saints. Remember that, Leroy? Were you in the league when Martin Anderson played?
Yeah.
I mean, the Saints, the second they got in scoring position.
They had two South African Andersons, Morton and Gary. Isn't that crazy?
You had Gary.
I had Gary.
I don't want to talk about that. Leroy, you probably should.
No, I don't want to talk about it either. It hurts. I still tear up a little bit. Huh?
Do you have nightmares about
I still have nightmares. I hate
no, actually, no, man. I come from a different place on that. Is that I never played mistake-free football.
Yeah, neither did I.
And we had a lot of opportunities to win that game.
But
we can all put it to that one moment.
But he was perfect.
I know.
Until
he missed one field goal all year.
Until he missed.
It's not
the
about
field goal he shouldn't.
winning or losing. It's about winning and losing at the right time.
Correct.
Dolphins, if you go in the last week of the year and you beat the Bills for the AFC East, you won the game that mattered. They won the game that didn't count.
Right.
It's all about that. Trust me.
But for the purposes of this week, that's out the window. Because this is, you know what this is? This is, look, the Dolphins are knocking on the door. There's like 3 or 4 teams in the VIP, right? And right now, the bouncer looking down, he don't see their name on the list.
Kick that door in.
If they beat Philadelphia, their name go to the top of the list. Come on in the VIP. You're the elite. You're elite.
Let's go. Are the Panthers elite again this season? We're going to do some cat talk next here on the Tobin and Leroy Show, 560 WQAM. Time, make Celsius a part of your play and get that energy up. Game day is fueled by Celsius Essential Energy, the official energy drink of the Florida Panthers. It's also the official energy drink of my Friday. I've had 2 of these already today. I am feeling the vibes. I'm working all the way till midnight tonight here at the radio station, so Celsius is getting me through. Whew.
What flavor are you drinking?
0 calories too, Leroy, because you got to keep fit.
Dude, your legs are the same size as that can. You drinking one of those Celsius is like you doing squats.
Oh my goodness.
To answer your question, Piggy, I've been drinking them. Beat up on
By the way,
17
Dan
hours.
Day, this is no lie. Dan, you can confirm this. Dan Day might be the smallest human being to ever leave New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. I don't know. You ask some of the guys in the hood, like, you call them slim and skinny, man. They're pretty bad,
I mean,
man.
You know what else we call? You know what else we call them, Dan? Crackheads.
Oh, yeah, they do that too. I am probably one of the skinniest people ever to leave Louisiana. But Figgy, I'm drinking this, not this tropical vibe. I'm drinking the one with the marshmallows in it.
Ooh.
Oh, the mandarin.
I like that.
Creamsicle.
The creamsicle.
I like that. That what is it? The fruit punch one. Is it Cosmic Vibes?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we get into more Cats talk,
but more importantly, if I don't drink one of those, J Fix coffee.
Oh, Figgy coffee. That's different. That's a different animal right there.
Well, it's with the Tobin booster. So he
decided to add that now. So
yeah.
Drinking Figgy's Cuban coffee is already like being on steroids. If you ask her to boost it, that's like going to like Arnold Schwarzenegger level of steroids. That's like just
I take the little cups, the little Cafe Bustela, 4 ounces, 2 times.
I like extra sweet, extra caffeine. Then you don't sleep.
You like the stronger
and
less sweeter.
Yo, you like less sweet?
He doesn't like it sweet.
Oh, okay.
For me?
You.
Nah, I want it sweet enough so when I drink it, it doesn't kill my taste buds. Because if you drink black, strong coffee, your taste buds get shot.
Helps me. Before we get into some Cats talk, we've got a chance for you to win tickets to see nationally known comedian and podcaster Stavros Halkias at the Broward
Stavros?
Whatever. November 11th. You know what November 11th is, Leroy, huh?
What is it?
How about Veterans Day? To enter, go to WQAM.com/contests. Want to purchase tickets? Get more info at browardcenter.org/events. I will tell you, though, I've been watching the Mindy Project on Netflix. That show is hilarious.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about her.
I love her. I love her, though. I
love it.
She has like it's almost like, how guys could have that dry sense of humor. Like she kind of has that. Right.
Well, she's also the one that helped, I think, direct The Office.
Yeah.
So
that was her claim to fame. Like, right.
Figgy, have you watched the Mindy Project?
I've watched it like twice.
It's hilarious.
I love it.
There's something about it.
She's hilarious. She's very charming, also.
Yeah, I was gonna say she has a certain je ne sais quoi about her that is just unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, she's not really my type and all this, but I don't know, I'm just smitten by her. Just je ne sais quoi. I don't know what. I don't know what, as the French would say. I don't know what
showing you over.
I don't know what the Cats are doing this year. Kind of gotten off to what we would say is a slow start, although I think that's kind of the first 3 games on the road. And I know, Leroy, I do like your take that if you make it to a finals, you should have your first at least game of the next season at home. Reward the team, reward the fans, unveil the banners or raise the banners and do stuff like that. I don't understand why you would penalize a team that had a great season, at least postseason last year, by making them start 3 games on the road.
Vlad ain't down with it. He's shaking his head. You know why? That's because nobody in your city ever won nothing. That's why.
Come on, please. Fam. When's the last time they won a Stanley Cup?
Who? They
Florida.
haven't.
Okay.
They haven't.
Exactly.
They won 2 Eastern Conference championships. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We won one. And we've been.
Were you alive?
Yes, I was alive.
How old were you?
16.
Why you laughing?
That's a long time ago, Vlad.
And how long has the Panthers won a Stanley Cup?
They haven't.
Okay, then. So I've seen one. Have you seen a Stanley Cup?
Yeah, I mean, in Detroit.
I mean, well, yeah. And do you live in Detroit? Look at
No,
you.
but I did at the time with the Red Wings.
How long ago was that?
I was in college.
How long ago was that, Mr.
Long time.
10 years
But
ago.
I didn't have hockey in New Orleans or
You're
baseball.
never going to get hockey in
You
New
had,
Orleans.
but you had
right?
hockey in Minnesota.
Didn't the team just move there though? The Wild had just moved there.
There were the North Stars back in the day.
Right, and then they moved to,
you
but
went
that
to
was
Dallas.
in the early 90s, right?
I don't remember when they moved to Dallas,
And the Wild are back there now.
but not a
The
while.
Wild are there now.
But here's my thing. I agree that the Vegas Knights should have started at home. I'm not very worried. Like I'm not concerned if like the Panthers started at home on
But
the
it's
road.
the only
I
two
do- I
teams
would
that raise
say
a
this.
banner. You raise a banner for the
You
Eastern
don't
Conference
really
Championship.
raise, but you're not really
Technically.
raising the Eastern Conference Championship banner.
you
just to say-
unveil. You unveil.
You unveil it, but you're not
Okay,
like you're not,
unveil it. Whatever.
yeah, but you're not making a big thing about. Oh my God,
That's
here
what
we
he
are,
meant. Really?
finishing
Look.
finishing in second place, ladies and gentlemen. Let's cheer for finishing in
No,
second place.
you were on top of the Eastern Conference.
Right, and you could put that banner right after you, like right before Game 3 or Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final to show that you were the Eastern Conference champion. That's what I'm thinking.
I did like the Panthers last night. Looked really aggressive. They got out there
Yes.
early and they came after it. And I think that would have been an advantage if they'd have been at home the first game of the season because they looked
No.
very sharp last night. I
No,
thought.
and they're 2-2. It's I will agree with you. I don't think they should have started on a 3-game road trip. You know what I'm saying?
But the other argument is you get that back because it's all going to even out in the end.
you're right. I don't think, but the road trip was ridiculous. You went to Jersey, then you went to Canada, you started in Minnesota, then you went to Jersey, and then you went to Canada.
No. You
I'm
started
sorry.
in Minnesota. you went to
Minnesota, Winnipeg, and then to Jersey. Just too much traveling. A lot of traveling for a team. I agree with you on that. But to say that they should have started off in Sunrise immediately. I mean,
Has Sergei Bobrovsky been as good as advertised? I know a lot of people have been. He's
The minute-
unbelievable.
the minute somebody went on vacation, I'm just saying.
So the mush is out of the state. Bobrovsky is balling.
That's some
Just saying.
bad energy, man.
Somebody just went on
He gives him
vacation
the worst energy.
Just
in
tell
the
them us to
world.
stay on vacation.
and he balled.
He should just save up all of his vacation for the NHL playoffs.
I gotta tell you, Vlad, like I'm really impressed with how big a lot of the hockey players are. I'm
Yo,
talking
he's
about
small, bro.
6'3", 6'4", 220. But guess what? Bob is tiny.
No, bro, dude. When
He
I
is
interviewed
so
Bob,
thin.
I said, "Wait a minute, Bob, you and I'm looking at him like I'm the same size as Bob."
Right.
Wait a
So what are
minute.
we talking? Like 6 foot, 160
bro?
pounds?
If he's a $160 soaking wet, I'm
Come
shocked.
on, like just look how he
Because
looks next
look
to me.
at who was the last goalie?
Luongo? No,
Luongo.
no,
He's a
Luongo's
big dude.
He was
That's a
big.
big dude.
Luongo is a big dude.
Nah,
Yeah.
And it's hard. Like, you know what the funniest thing about like sports? Because one of my good friends, Keith Byers, right?
that's a
We
big
played
boy.
the same position. He weighs 80 pounds more than me,
No, Keith was a big boy.
right? Right? Like, yeah, he's a big boy. Like his look,
Big backside.
as Marcos would say, the first time I met him, I wanted to go up piece. He's huge, man. He's a big dude. It is hard to imagine we played the same position.
Whew. Well, if you want to measure yourself up against Aaron Ekblad, you're going to get a chance to do that because we're giving you a chance to win a photo op with Panthers great Aaron Ekblad and an autograph courtesy of Hollywood Collectibles. For your chance to win, text the word hockey to 20357. 20357. That's hockey 20357. And you could win. If you don't win, no worries. You can meet Aaron Ekblad at Hollywood Collectibles on Sterling Road in Dania Beach, October 28th. For photo ops and autographs, tickets are on sale now at HollywoodCollectibles.com. Up
So that's next Saturday.
You gonna be there, Leroy?
No.
Okay.
Wait. Next Saturday. Aren't they playing next Saturday?
Hey,
At night?
Yeah.
appearances are appearances.
I don't know if I like my players doing an appearance right before a game.
I used to do it all. Oh, not before a game, but
Like an
I used
hour.
to. Here, let me tell you something. Boy, them Target dollars
Woo!
in Minnesota used to do the little appearance in Target on Saturday before you went to the hotel.
Tell me, Leroy. Fast food in the ghetto.
Woo! Let me tell you.
Fast food in the ghetto.
But Target, let me tell you, there's two places that you would be amazed at seeing in Minnesota. They're based in Minnesota.
Oh, Target and Best Buy.
Target and Best Buy. And the Best Buy home base looks like a small city. Like Nike. Like it's huge.
Oh man. Keep that on my bucket list next time I go up to Minneapolis.
Oh no, you just got to go to the Mall of America.
I've been there. Beautiful
Right?
city.
Mall of America.
Lake
is-
Minnetonka.
I need to see
wait.
Minnehaha.
Here's the deal.
I went to Minnehaha.
That was my first question. Is that a real lake?
It is, right?
It is, yeah.
I like Minnehaha the most, though. That was my favorite lake in Minneapolis.
You hung out with Prince. Did he ever challenge you to a game of basketball?
No, dude. When we met, it was me, a couple other players, Tiger Woods, and Prince were in the Target suite.
That's a nice little group of people right
Tiger
there.
was only like, I think Tiger, it was right after he won the Masters, like the next year after he won the Masters. So he was still 21.
So let me ask you a question.
Huh.
Who are you more starstruck from?
Prince. Yeah, hands down.
I'm okay. I'm happy you said that because I know how much you love golf, and if you realize at that time you were standing.
No,
next
but
to that
but
guy.
I've golfed with professional golfers.
Yeah, but you never.
Right?
Yeah, but that's him.
And Tiger wasn't Tiger yet.
I'm just saying.
But he was just a brother.
Now
See?
that I ask you that now that I ask you this question now, is it still Prince?
Still Prince.
Okay. I like that. I respect that.
Dude, that for my whole life, from the time I was in high school, I was listening to Prince. So you talking about high school, because his first album, Controversy, right? He released his first album when he was like 16, I think, 16, 17. And to go that far from high school to being in my 6th or 7th year in the NFL, and then you run into this dude. I told him I was a little taken aback by how deep his voice is. Because, I got this high-pitched voice. And I'm like, can we switch voices? Because, what's up? He's, look, as cool as he seems, that's as cool as he is.
Man, let's go crazy and party like it's 1999 next here on the Tobin and Leroy Show, 560 WQAM.
WQAM broadcasting live.
Fun day. Got a lot going on in the sports world, but I got excited about Leroy talking about rubbing elbows with Prince and Tiger Woods. What a party. Man, it is going to be crazy. Tonight, you get the Heat preseason action, whether you get excited about that or not. That's your business, but you can listen to it right here on 560 WQAM. Saturday, pivotal game. Really almost feeling Mario Cristobal's tenure here with the Miami Hurricanes. Could be his first ACC home win in a year and a half.
That's still hard to believe.
It really is, man.
Well,
The games they have after this game at home. Virginia, I believe, is next week. And then there's 2 games on the road at NC State, at Florida State, in Tallahassee. And then what? We have one more game after that at home?
Virginia Tech?
You get Virginia, Louisville.
That might be a tough game.
So you got to get one against Clemson, Virginia, or Louisville's a good team.
That's going to be a tough game. Nah, he's got oof.
Now let me ask you this, Vlad. Can I ask you a question? If they're going into this game 5-1 instead of 4-2, you feel differently?
Yes. If they had beaten Georgia Tech, if they had beaten Georgia, here's the thing though, Leroy and Cousin and J Fig, the losses and the way you lose matters now. It matters how you lose. So
Agreed.
The fact that they lost to Georgia Tech the way they did, we don't want to have to rehash that again. And then they had a lead at halftime against North Carolina, which makes you think, okay, they got over the loss the week prior. And then the second half was just they just got stampeded. Therefore, yeah, if they going into this loss, these are 2 bad losses because of the Georgia Tech loss. They had lost to Carolina. You could say, look, they lost to North Carolina. It was a 10-point game. You could say they had the first half lead, couple of turnovers.
Right.
They were still battling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
You'll be like, okay, I could take this loss going into that Clemson game. We're 5-1. But now you're going into that Clemson game 4-2. Both teams are 4-2. And Vegas has Clemson favored
on the
road.
Here's a better question. How hard is it to sell a fan base, boosters, alumni? If you at the end of the season go, I've been here 2 years and we've yet to win a home ACC game. Whew. And how much are we paying you again? That hurts.
Because of from what happened last season.
What progress are we making?
We saw how last season was, and we were all excited for this season. We loved every step. Week by week, we saw that it was stacking up. We were happy. We liked what was going on. And then coming off that bye.
Really? Everything went wrong from not taking that knee on.
Yes.
It all unraveled.
Everything unraveled. We were all excited. The new Miami night uniforms.
Even we're going to win 20-17 at today's ACC game. It's the first one of the year. Survive in advance.
We got away with one. We're going to improve. We're going to North Carolina. We're going to Chapel Hill, take on North Carolina.
Big time matchup.
It would have been a matchup of undefeated teams. So that game would have been a little bit more. And you all know what's going on. Basically, with the ACC, top 2 best records will meet in the championship game, right? In North Carolina. You're just looking at that way. You're looking at, it's a three-team race. It's between Carolina, Miami, and Florida State. And you and Miami, unlike these other 3 teams, they play both of them.
Yeah, they control their own destiny.
They control their own destiny.
Let's pump a little sunshine, minus a boneheaded mistake against Texas Tech. And for a long part, North Carolina, you were in that game. Is this just a little skid, a little bump in the road, Leroy? Or is this something that we seriously need to be worried about? I guess we're going to find out tomorrow at 8.
No, I think it's one of those situations where it's easy to talk about culture and how much you're better when you haven't been tested yet, right?
You're saying Temple didn't test us?
No. Yeah, pretty much. But I'm saying that your resolve and your discipline and your ability to do things aren't judged when things are going great.
Right.
They always judge when you got to fight through some stuff.
That is true.
And the 2 times that this team, and I would say they did it to some extent in Texas A&M because the game was kind of sloppy when it started and they pulled away. But the last 2 weeks, it wasn't like you just got totally outplayed. It was along the lines of you couldn't keep your poise. You weren't disciplined enough. You didn't have, the wherewithal to realize, hey, this is one of those games we got to just fight through it, guys. Right? No freebies, no 15-yarders. Let's just fight through it. It's always too late when they notice those things, which means to me, you're not quite there yet.
Mhm.
You're not quite where Mario says you are, but you're getting there.
Does it help that 4-star recruit out of the Tampa Bay area, Booker Pickett Jr., 4-star edge rusher, committed to play for the U?
Is he going to play tomorrow?
No, he's not.
Then no.
Stop talking about recruits.
He's not
I'm sick of hearing about recruits right now during the season.
There's only one other guy
that
does that.
Season.
You know who else does that?
Dono.
Yeah, oh yeah. But Dono, I don't hold Dono against it because he has a vested. That's what he does.
Right. That check out his Locked On Canes podcast. But
there's a lot of things I do you're not promoting right now, Vlad.
What?
Everything. Tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's Sunday?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Tomorrow you'll have the weekend sports day. My cousin and myself. Yes. 12 to 4.
Look,
we'll be the lead-in before the Canes
this
game
could
and
be-
Dolphins game.
This
Go ahead.
could be just a skid in the road, like a bump in the road, right?
That's 2 bumps. You get a bloody nose.
You could look back at the end of the season and say, you know what, Georgia Tech, UNC, that was the low point of the season after that.
Well,
It's how you respond to the adversity. That's the thing.
Again, we saw how they respond last week.
Tough team. UNC's 10th ranked, undefeated.
It's
But
not that, dude. It's not that. It's how undisciplined they played. It's how they gave away all them 15-yarders by talking trash and swag
Shannon
and
Dawson
smack
helped
and
them.
swag and all that stuff. They reverted back to the old Canes.
Shannon Dawson's penalty didn't help much either.
Right.
And that's a bad look after the way you played the
Right.
week before and you lost. So it seems to me whatever you were implementing to this team that week to have them focused, they weren't focused or
Here's
they
the
weren't
thing,
listening.
No, Vlad. Here's the thing. It's easy to teach something in football because you never know when it's going to come into play. You never know when you're going to get tested on that theory, right? Then when you get tested is when you realize, oh, they're not there yet. So as much as Mario Cristobal wants them to be tough and fight through it, and we want dogs and we want this, that message is not getting across because guess what? When things got tough in North Carolina, they start grabbing, pushing, punching, everything but playing football.
Yeah, and you always had those teams or guys you knew you could get under their skin and make them do something stupid, and you just poke the bear a little bit, and they do it every time. And you would think they would learn their lesson, and they never learned their lesson. Like taking candy from a baby.
Sometimes athletes, right? They go into these games with the bravado of, I'm a man, I'll play football. You ain't going to just punk me. You ain't going to do this, right? And so you the guy you think you defending your honor or whatever because somebody said something or pushed you or whatever, when in actuality, you just fell for that little shiner and you a big mouth bass falling for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they got to watch out for. It don't make you any tougher. It actually makes you less tough when you respond to stuff like that.
You got played.
So and we see it a lot, right? All we need, here's what happens. You want me to tell you the biggest fights I've ever seen on a football field? Somebody talking trash, and then the other guy pointing at the scoreboard.
That's the best.
No, did you know that you got him on tilt, right? Because the next time y'all come, he gonna do something funny. He gonna do some shady stuff, right? And now you got him. You in his head, all because he was talking trash.
Yeah. Well put. Well put. Let's get to quick headlines. These headlines are brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
Woo! We know trucks. October.
It's October.
October version for getting ready for
Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween. So I'm only gonna show the white truck because white folks fall for Halloween. My head is always on the swivel, so it's hard for me to fall for Halloween.
Jeremy Shockey will be the honorary captain for the Canes tomorrow at 8 when they take on Clemson.
Dual shock power.
Tight end you.
Number
They have
8.
probably more first round tight ends than anybody, right?
Yep, they do. They're tight end you. They've had the best.
Linebackers. They had to run with running backs.
Secondary. They had to run with running backs. They had to run
Secondary, safeties.
safeties, linebackers, D linemen.
Russian. Well, yeah, back in the 80s and 90s, they were the nose tackle U. Right? Then it became Russian U.
Yeah.
Nose tackle you. Okay.
Nose tackle. Yeah. I mean, they had Jerome Brown. They had Russell Maryland. They had the U.
Yeah, dude, when you go 3 cycles of the same position, they all go top 10. That's, yeah.
You know about that at LSU there's Cousin.
Mm-hmm.
All right, look at all those great wide receivers coming out of your university.
I know, man. I know. Hey, what does that do for you now? Nothing. No, it does help you a little bit in recruiting, but nonetheless. Panthers won their home opener 3-1 last night against the Maple Leafs. Next up, the Canucks tomorrow at 7. Want some more stuff to do this weekend? No worries. We got you. The Heat tonight, 8 o'clock, preseason against the Rockets. Oh, yeah, no, there's a game Sunday night. Correct me if I'm wrong. 8:20. It is the Dolphins and the Eagles.
Best game of week 7.
Yep.
Looking to bide your time? Astros Rangers today at 5 o'clock. Diamondbacks Phillies at 8 o'clock.
Rangers let the Astros back in that damn series.
Yes,
man.
indeed. You put Max Scherzer.
I mean,
out
they ain't let them back. They kind of got back into it. It wasn't like they would. I mean,
you're right. They didn't let them back. The Astros just beat them. But geez, man, you had a 2-games-to-none lead going back home. You had Scherzer pitching game 3. He couldn't last 4 innings. And then last night, who was the pitcher? Haney?
Home run derby.
He couldn't even last a third of an inning. Jeez.
I tell you what, that's a weird series. No home team has ever won.
It's awesome. SMU, a 23-point favorite over Temple when they face off tonight at 7 o'clock.
Who's got action on that game?
That's a big bet right there. I know, Vlad, you've got action on this. NASCAR returns to Homestead Miami Speedway this weekend.
I love NASCAR, bro.
3 races will be run: the Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and Truck Series.
Can't wait.
I want to be on the infield. If I do ever go to a NASCAR race, I want to go tailgate.
I like being up top where I
girls.
can see them go around the track.
No, I want to be around drunk girls.
And plus, here's the thing. I want to go to a speedway. I don't want to go to no miler where they just crashing into each other for all the way around, or a road race. I'm out on that. I want to go to one of them tracks where they go fast.
So you want to go to So you want to go to the F1 races then? That's what you want to do.
They go fast, but F1 is not just a round track.
Right. There's twists and turns and
twists
curves.
and turns.
I would love if they'd let you and I take one out, Leroy, for a ride on the NASCAR track. I'd let you drive, though. Of course, they don't have a passenger seat nonetheless, but you know what I mean? Like, they'd let us take one out on the track. Would you be willing to do that?
I've been in not an F1, an Indy car. They used to have a Cleveland Grand Prix or something like that. And they had a thing where you go down there. And let me just explain something to you. First of all, the average person does not understand what 1,000 horsepower sounds like. Those cars are loud.
Mm-hmm.
And you go from 0 to 120 quicker than you can go take a leak.
Woo!
It is terrifying. That being said, it was fun because you strapped in there. Dude, you ain't got no movement other than your feet
Mm-hmm.
and the steering wheel that you don't never turn that much.
There's obvious reasons why you'd be doing the driving too, Leroy, when you and I are in the car, but that's neither here
And
nor
they
there.
don't have room. Hey, Dan.
They don't have a cup holder?
They don't have room for your red Solo cup.
Oh.
Could you imagine Dan? Look,
He
Dan
lives
sitting
like
next
No, I don't want to imagine Dan.
Dan sitting next to me. I'm driving. I'm 10-2. We going like 200. He said, "You can take him on the right. You can take him. Take him. You got him. Let me see. Wait. He said, hold on. Plenty of room over here."
He gets his head out for somehow.
The toupees flying in the wind. We're all over the place. That would be a show right there.
Woo! Man. I mean, well, so I did go to a track with my Lamborghini.
Oh, wait.
I got it all.
Wait, you went to the track in a Lambo?
You have a
Yeah.
Lamborghini?
I had one. Yeah,
Oh, you had one.
I had a couple.
Had.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, when you get married and then you have
yeah,
kids,
that's it.
families, that you can't really fit the family in a Lambo.
So when I went, my wife only had one rule when we got together: no two-seaters.
Oh,
That's it, yeah. So, but here's the deal. So I shipped it to Ohio, right? I went to what was it? I can't think of the name of it. They got it all ready. They put the little fake roll bar in the inside to give me a little more, and then they gave me the little jet fuel, the racing fuel, and I got it up to 190.
whoo! I like Heat Cult Nick T saying, you go to Leroy and Dan Day go to a pit stop. They don't just fill up the gas; they fill up Dan's cup.
Yeah. Wait. Here it is. Look, they fill it up. They change the tires, and then I put the window down to put Dan's cup.
Go. Up next, we're either going to do You're Dead to Me or talk about how the Dolphins can win this weekend on the Tobin and Leroy Show, 560 WQAM.
You're dead to me.
It is time for a little You're Dead to Me. Going to go around and let everyone know who is dead to you. Leroy, you can start it all off. Who is dead to you?
So, besides the NHL and the planning of the Panthers opening of the year, I want to say all the talking heads that are still looking for reasons why not to give Tua his flowers or why not to give the Dolphins their comeuppance, right? I get it. They haven't played anybody, right? But the fact still remains this. If the Dolphins were undefeated and had lost to the Cleveland Browns or the New York Jets, you wouldn't be acting the way you are now. As far as, just a little bump in the road, they'll get back on track. That's what they say about San Francisco, and that's what they say about the Eagles.
Philadelphia.
Right?
Season's ruined. Season's ruined for the Dolphins.
But for the Dolphins, right, there's always a narrative. There's always something else. Like, the whole thing of your record is what it is, right? You are what your record says you are. Right? There's only a handful of teams that only have one loss. 2 of them are going to play on Sunday. Right? Whether the Dolphins lose or not, they are amongst those teams. They maybe not be as complete as those teams as of yet. But they're amongst those teams as far as what they do offensively and the eliteness in which they do it.
And there's no cheap win in the pros.
And so when you say, the Dolphins are 5-1, they haven't played anybody. They play NFL teams, don't they?
Yep.
Right?
Sunday.
Wait. How many points were the Jets, the Eagles favored over the Jets?
7.5.
7.5. A touchdown. Okay? So, yeah, you still got to play. So I just want people to I'm not saying you got to crown them, but I'm saying stop looking for reasons as to why they are good other than they're good. Right? They're not. It always comes with a qualifier. Well, that offense is pretty good. They haven't played anybody. They only played one good team. Right? And that was the same team that lost to Detroit. So, it's football. It happens. Yeah. But for some teams, they give the whole narrative, that this is going to be the narrative forever.
Got to end that this weekend. Vlad, who is dead to you?
Jada Pinkett.
Oh, yeah. She is acting a fool.
Something wrong with that.
Why she put him out there after defending?
I'm sick of her.
Will Smith needs to step.
First of all, you've been separated with your man for 7 years now. So y'all been separated for 2016. So you're saying that,
but not divorced.
But no, and whatever. You've been separated. You've been sleeping around with your son's best friend. Correct. Yeah, you had entanglements. That's basically what you're saying. So you weren't really cheating. You've been separated. So it's kind of like, okay, we've been separated. We could see whoever we want. And you let that man slap that man on stage for no reason. He wasn't even talking about you. And he came, keep my wife's name out your mouth. And you go smack him and y'all been separated. You've kept your wife's name out your mouth because you haven't been with her for the last 7 years. Right. Nastiness.
And then she drops that nasty nugget. Tupac's a soulmate. Shut your ass up.
And then come on, man. Pac's been dead for 27 years.
Soulmate.
That man is not bothered one person. One person in the last 27 years.
Right.
She can't keep her name out. She can't keep his name out her mouth. Trying to tell everybody Pac tried to marry me when he was in prison. We all know why you get married when you're in prison.
Conjugal visits, baby.
Absolutely. Trying to get it in.
My thing is, if I'm Will Smith,
she want to make a new love after lockup.
Stop it.
Come on, man.
What else would you call that if he say Pac tried to marry me when he was in prison?
Easy. He's trying to
flushing a toilet?
Yeah.
Look, whoever keeps interviewing her, they need to stop.
Oh, she's selling a book.
They need to stop.
Will Smith be like, let's set the record straight.
No, he's confirming all of this.
I know. I'm saying this. If you're Will Smith, let's set the record straight. We have beautiful children together, had a beautiful life together. Yes, we are separated. But the fact of the matter is, I'm an award-winning actor that is world-renowned and famous, and she's a C-lister.
It's true.
Bye.
And my cousin's right because Kuzan's right. Because she what would she be right now? Jada Pinkett She is a star, but she's not a superstar. If her last name is not hyphenated Smith.
She's an actress. She's not right. That's what her
If-
profession is.
Right. If her name wasn't hyphenated Smith, she would not be anyone right now. Like she would not be the we would not be talking about her right now.
That is a good one, Kuzan. I like that.
What, hyphenated? Yes.
No, I mean, you're letting Jada Pinkett Smith be dead.
She's
to
dead
you.
to me.
You're dead to me.
My dead to me is, as much as I want to say Foster Moreau for dropping that touchdown pass last night, that could have at least tied the game for the Saints. I can't do that to a fellow Cajun, to a fellow New Orleanian, Jesuit High. I mean, Leroy and I don't like that much, nonetheless. LSU Tiger and a New Orleans State, so I can't do that to him. What I'm going to do is, for Miami Hurricanes, quote-unquote, fans that are still doubting Mario Cristobal and saying that he's leading us in the wrong direction, whether we win or lose tomorrow, to say that we are not in a better place. If you're one of those fans saying we're not in a better place with Mario Cristobal, you're dead to me.
You're dead to me.
Agreed.
You're dead to me.
Because we are moving in the right direction.
Because as critical as I am of Mario Cristobal, I have never denied the fact that they're in a better place now. They're just not there yet.
They're just not there yet. They're on the way. It's a journey. We're going to get there. Let's do this.
You got 8
Figgy.
Okay.
I'll tell you what's dead to me, that Halloween shirt.
Ooh.
Why? You guys were doing Halloween trivia. I can't wear a Halloween shirt. What's wrong with you?
Sure, you can.
Good job accessorizing.
You and Dan, you know, we're not going to say why.
I love Halloween.
What?
I'm Irish. I got Irish in me.
Really?
Irish and Halloween.
Anyway, social media is dead to me this weekend. Because I don't want to go ahead and see all your amazing pictures of you in Vegas during enjoying yourself at the When We Were Young festival. I don't want to see it.
Oh, because you want to be there?
Yeah.
I want to be there.
That sounds like jealousy.
That sounds like
I'm
hate.
jealousy. I just don't want to see it.
That sounds like hate.
Break down a couple of the bands, Figgy. 30 Seconds of Mars is playing, right? Jared Leto.
Yes, they are. Yes.
Who else?
Also, Green Day, Blink-182, Good Charlotte, Rise
No.
Against, Sum 41, All Time Low, Pierce the Veil, which we already saw, so I'm okay with that.
Good.
Something Corporate.
Ooh. Who?
There's
Hey,
a little bit of intangibles, yes.
can I just say that
What's this
sounds like an intangible get together.
That was an intangible fest.
Glad
It's an emo fest.
That's as
So,
emo
yeah.
as it gets right
It should
there.
be called intangible fest.
not to be confused with emu.
No, don't
Exactly.
get
Yeah, don't do that.
Confused. Very different things. Two very different animals right there. We're gonna get into
Jimmy
our
Butler
feelings.
should be there.
Jimmy Butler would be perfect at When We Were Young festival.
How do you know he's not?
He might be.
His
That's
mouth
why
I mean,
he's
on
not
Friday,
there.
He had dental
they could
problems.
go for the weekend.
Dental procedures.
Yeah. Well, he might be flying out to Houston. I mean, he's from that area, kind. He's from Texas, so I'm going to say that. So, okay. So we're going to get into our feelings and our emotions next and close out the show here on the Hawk and Crowder show coming up next. This is Tobin and Leroy. Hawk's walking by me right now. And I'm
Tobin and Leroy. Now he's at the Hawk.
What are you doing, Dan?
Dad! No.
Tobin, Leroy, J Fig, Vlad, Marcos was here. I don't even know who I am anymore. 560 WQAM. Las Vegas. Ooh. Heat tonight. Tomorrow, Inter Miami playing a meaningless end of the season game. Messi, I don't know why he says he wants to play. That makes no sense whatsoever. Get the Panthers against the Vancouver Canucks. You get the Hurricanes taking on the Clemson Tigers. This could be the death knell for the Clemson dynasty. Then Sunday night, a huge game between the Dolphins and the Eagles. Besides all of that great craziness, Leroy, is there? Oh, I'm sorry. NASCAR also down in Homestead. Is there anything exciting going on in your life? No, it sounds like okay. Lots of excitement.
What happened?
So, Figgy, you got anything exciting going on this weekend?
Scooby might bark, but I'm going to the Canes game tomorrow, and I have a little Halloween thing going on today. What's up?
You were at the Georgia Tech game also.
I was, yes.
Oh, maybe it's you.
No, it's not, because I didn't go to last week's game.
Okay.
Huh.
Well, of course, you didn't go up to North Carolina. You weren't going up to shore.
Exactly. Does that mean it's me? No, it's not.
Your hometown mush.
No, I'm not.
Man, yeah, that's true. I forgot Tobin. What a mush, man.
Don't put me on that level.
Great. Babosky played. Leroy, are you doing anything exciting this weekend? Maybe changing the oil in your car or
what?
I don't know.
Change no oil in no car?
Why?
Take 10 minutes for somebody else to do it.
I know. I always pay the money.
Hey, so not really. I tell you what, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna be out back, clean up the backyard a little bit from that party we had a couple of weeks ago while watching some football. Got football all day, both Saturday and Sunday. So I just do that. And that's really about it, man. I just chill. I just chill because, when you get old, you call it sitting and relaxing and watching football, and you may or may not lose consciousness as you fall into a nap. So I'm going to just say that.
Can I ask you this? Realistically, what's the percentage that both the Canes and the Dolphins win this weekend?
I would go 55% for the Dolphins.
Oh, I thought we were combined. But okay, cool.
Well, no. I mean,
okay, so 55% for the Dolphins, and what do you got for the Canes?
And I would say 45% for the Canes.
Clemson's still very good. A lot of people want to say
it's not even that though. I'm not worried about the Clemson.
You're worried about the silliness.
I'm worried about the dumb stuff.
Discipline, silliness, some other stuff.
Until you get over that hump, I'm always gonna have questions. I thought you did early on, but that was because of the opponent.
Give the Saints 100% chance that they're going to lose this week because they already did last night. Came back all the way, and then Foster Moreau dropped that touchdown pass. Imagine if you had money on that game.
I can't believe Marcos picked Jacksonville.
Why wouldn't you?
Huh?
Why wouldn't you?
Even Marcos was confused because
he thought he took the Saints. No, because very rarely do you pick against the Saints at home. You know that.
Yeah, but
it was Justin Herbert who had him and his coaching staff have not
Trevor
really built a lot of confidence in everybody around.
Trevor Lawrence's first win in the Superdome. He lost both of his games in college. LSU won a national championship there. Joe Burrow got him. And then he's lost all of his preseason and regular season games there as the Jacksonville Jaguars. So he got his first win last night. Whatever. Congratulations, sunshine. You're whatever. But seriously, man, I don't know.
Stop hating, man. Stop hating.
I'm giving both teams 50-50 shot this weekend. That's all you can ask for right there.
I mean,
Dolphins.
And I think the Dolphins have a better chance of winning than the Canes. And it's not because of the talent. It's not because will they do it. It's because of the confidence that I have in them based on what they've done so far this year.
My only worry is the Eagles are a little more battle tested in big games. They went all the way to the Super Bowl last year.
But guess what? No matter how battle tested you are, you can't run 4-2.
That's true.
And they want to take that nasty loss to the Jets.
Go ahead and make that mistake. Go out on an island against Tyreek Hill. See how that works out for you. Put 1-on-1 on Tyreek Hill. Let's go. Let's see. Tua, go ahead and drop that dime on him real quick. Should be a good one, man. Oh man, I'm so nervous and excited at the same time. It's very, very exciting. Very, very good. Of course, the Canes game, but we're going to be on right here at 560 WQM. That's Scooby.
All right, Scooby.
Scooby's,
Jeez, she wants
Scooby's
some
chiming
snacks.
in.
Scooby wants to know how your weekend's going to go, Dan.
Yeah.
And Vlad.
What do you think?
That's why I didn't ask Vlad.
As you see us right now.
It's going to be a great weekend then.
Our asses are stuck to the seat.
I'll tell you, I'm so busy. I'm not even going to have a drink tonight.
Together.
It's okay.
You're not going to have what?
When you say that.
I'm not having a drink. I'm not having a drink tonight.
I can't party.
Maybe not tomorrow
You know
night
what's
either.
funny, Dan? I can
look into the camera when you say that.
I can honestly say this. Has anybody ever seen Dan eat?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I've seen him eat.
It's vegan.
I've been doing that a lot lately. Yeah.
You're not a vegan, Dan.
Oh, he's a vegan.
I try to be as much as I can.
There's no people from New Orleans that are vegan.
Listen,
I spend the money on it.
Leroy, if you listen to the show,
I spend the money on vegan food.
Me yelling at Dan for spending a ridiculous amount of money on a little bit of food.
That vegan food's expensive.
Hey, can I just say this, Dan? I'm highly disappointed.
I mean, I've eaten meat
You
in my
know,
life.
we from New Orleans, we are meat eaters.
I know.
Pause.
In fact, we eat meats that other people would just leave on the side of the road.
Nutria, baby.
Double pause.
I've had Nutria.
Hey, J-Fig, there's people that eat rats that are bigger than Scooby.
Oh, yeah. Wait,
Stop saying that, please. That's
It's-
disturbing.
no, I'm not even making that up.
You're right, Heat Cold. I might get to a four loco and a crazy horse at some point this weekend. I might need it. Hopefully the Canes.
You got $5 in your pocket. And you just need to get it done.
I don't
you
do
wear
Four
black
Loco.
Air Force Ones.
I don't like Four Loco.
You wear black Air Force Ones
That's
if you
nasty
drink Four
business.
Loco.
Hopefully Monday, Tobin will be back. Bobrovsky will stay hot. Canes get a win. Dolphins get a win. Inter Miami. Go ahead, get a win. I mean, why not? Why not?
Final game of the season.
Get a
tomorrow.
meaningless win. Make us feel good before they go to China next month for some international friendlies. NASCAR. Are we pulling for anybody in NASCAR?
Nah.
Rusty Wallace. Is that still a racer?
Rusty Wallace. No, he's retired. Man. What's wrong with you guys?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. Is he still racing?
Junior's gonna be here though. He's gonna be in town.
Dale Earnhardt Sr. Is he gonna be?
Hey, yo.
Cole Trickle. Will Cole Trickle be racing this weekend?
No, but his brother Dick will.
Mark Martin in the Viagra car.
No, hey, that's a real name.
No, I know his name is Cole
They
Trickle.
used to do it. They used to do it on ESPN.
Remember the Mark Martin was driving around in that Viagra car, and he was just a big Viagra sponsor. Pause. But yeah,
gone off the
Viagra
rails.
5.
We'll be back on
The Blue
Monday.
Monster.
This is the Tobin and Leroy Show, 560 WQAM. Later.